My vision clears to sand beneath my feet. I am in a vast room of endless marble and concrete walls under a distant sun. The warmth feels strange after the last thing I remember, walking down a street in Seoul when a sharp pain hit my brain and I collapsed alongside everyone else. Now I am here, hungry, alone, and with no idea how I arrived. A man's voice echoes in my ears, warped and amused, and the words crawl in front of my eyes as written text. The voice introduces itself as the main god and welcomes me to the Labyrinth Game World. It tells me I am trapped here and instructs me to use my wisdom, courage, and luck to survive. The rules unfold one by one. The world is made of countless rooms and passages, and every room has 6 exits. Front, back, left, right, up, down, and choosing one moves me to the next room while sealing the way behind me. I can pass through at most 10 rooms a day. Every new room holds either supplies, monsters, or other players. The world has day and night, which the voice underlines as critical. I am given a game interface and a portable base I can summon to rest in. The voice ends with 2 short words telling me to strive to survive, and then I am alone again on the sand. A dry, humorless laugh breaks out of me. I had been on my way to meet a beautiful woman in Seoul to exchange fencing skills at a hotel, and before I had even checked in, the main god dragged me into this. I shot at the sky asking to be sent back, swearing I will not fool around anymore, but no one answers. From all the novels I have read, a main god usually runs reincarnation teams, and not a labyrinth game. Whoever is behind this must be a smug lunatic with a twisted sense of humor. I open the interface and check my inventory. 2 items only, a rusty iron shovel and a junk-tier base remote control. The shovel description tells me the rust will not affect its use, and adds that my lifespan might not be as long as the shovel's. The remote control description promises that if I build my base like a palace, I will be the emperor, and a harem will be within reach. Every description ends with the main god's smug commentary, which only confirms he is a complete jerk. I sit on the sand and work through the rest of the panel. There is a room counter at 0 in the upper right, my health and condition bar in the upper left at full and good condition, my level at 1 with no experience yet, and a chat panel split into world and regional channels, with a 1 message per day cap. There is also an auction system, player-to-player trading, and a crafting panel listing simple recipes. Bread asks for 50 grams of flour and 100 milliliters of water. A stone knife wants 1 piece of stone. A spear wants 2 pieces of wood. Crafting cannot make something out of nothing, and special items will need blueprints. To live, I will have to scavenge. The world channel is mostly noise. People are wailing about gods and transmigration and labyrinth death games. One man insists he is a devout believer of God and asks why his god would send him to this god-forsaken place. Another tells him to be careful or he really will be going to see his god. A third laughs that this is not a labyrinth survival game, it is a labyrinth death game. None of it tells me anything I can actually use. The chat is meant for survival experience, not religious panic, and the once-a-day cap proves it. I switch to the regional channel, which has a fixed roster of 1,000 people. Every face a real photo with a name and level beside it. Nickel suggests everyone tap the walls and listen for echoes. Sansio points out that the wall material is not what it looks like, that it is indestructible, and that the soundproofing is better than any cheap motel. Byung cheerfully curses his old job, declaring he is finally free of being a wage slave. Everyone is at level 1. No one is moving. I look around the sandy room and realize I am inclined to do exactly the same. Wait, watch. Let someone else go first. Charging through the next door is how you die. Named survival, but really death, I think to myself. That settles it. I will be more cautious than the rest. I take out the remote control and press the switch, and a battered thatched hut materializes in front of me. The base is dilapidated and drafty, but functional. Inside, I can store items beyond my backpack's capacity, and the items shrink down inside as if I were playing a game. When I am exhausted, I can rest here, and as I upgrade the base, it will expand and gain new functions like farmland, production rooms, even turrets to make it a fortress. I close it back up, sit on the sand, and watch the sky dim. Hunger comes in waves. As a modern person used to 3 meals a day, going hours without food or water is genuinely unpleasant. The chat fills with the same complaints. Bakdu offers 1,000,001 when the game ends in exchange for a single piece of bread. Gange says he is freezing in a snowy room. Chionwoo tells everyone to stop using each other as guinea pigs and start moving. Nobody moves. I steel myself and stand up. I have to act. Staying still is worse than risking the next room, and if there is a monster, I still have stamina to fight. As I step toward the front passage ready to push the door open, a line of text shimmers into existence in front of me. It tells me that walking into this passage will drop me into a vast ice and snow room with nothing inside, that I am wearing light summer clothes, and that if I am unlucky, I will freeze to death. I freeze on the spot, staring at the text, my mind catching up. The information is telling me what is inside the next room before I enter it. I memorize the warning, half afraid the text will vanish if I look away. But the text does not vanish. It keeps showing up as I approach each passage in turn. The left passage has a venomous snake and some wood. I have eaten snake before in the south, but have never tried to catch one and would only get myself killed. The right passage offers more desert, with lizards I might catch if my skill were decent, which it is not. The rear passage is empty. The upper passage has water and food and nothing else. The lower passage holds water, food, and other good things. All 6 passages have prompts, and the most valuable is the lower one. I scan the world channel to see whether anyone else is being told this kind of thing, and the answer is plain. No one is. Players are rushing into rooms blind, getting stung by hornets, finding empty desert, despairing. Only I can see the prompts. I narrow my options to 3. Wait and starve. Out. Pick at random and pray. Out. My luck has never been good. Follow the prompt to the lower passage. Yes. If the prompt is right, I get water, food, and other supplies. If it is wrong, I have at least confirmed it is unreliable. I close my eyes, walk into the lower passage, and the moment I step in, I see I have indeed taken the route the prompt promised. Stairs spiral down into darkness. At the door at the bottom, another prompt warns me that if I rush through, I will fall hard, because the doorway is more than 3 meters above the floor of the next room. I open the door slowly with my back braced against it, peer out, and see a small forest with a stone chest sitting in the middle. Vines crawling all over it. I pull my foot back in time, jump down carefully, lose only a sliver of health from gravity, and run to the chest. The system identifies it as a stone chest, the lowest tier, 2 levels below an iron chest, opening to give basic supplies. I push and shove with no result. The chest is bound up in finger-thick vines I cannot tear loose. A fresh prompt appears beside it, mocking me for not using my shovel to cut the vines first. I slap my forehead, take out the shovel, and hack the vines apart in a few swings. The system rewards me with vines as a resource. 3 of them, useful for binding, traps, rope. The main god's commentary on possible additional uses I deliberately ignore. I open the chest. I obtain 3 bottles of Yehaha 500 milliliter mineral water and 500 grams of rice. The system tells me the stone chest itself can be carried in my backpack at the cost of 3 slots, broken down into stone material at 1 slot, or kept inside my base as decoration with 20 internal storage slots. The main god's commentary calls it ugly and recommends I break it down, but I want my hut to have something valuable in it, so I summon the base and shove the chest inside. Then I bring up crafting and try to make a serving of rice, only for the system to tell me I have no water. After a moment of cursing, I notice the mineral water can be broken down into 500 milliliters of water in a bottle. I disassemble one and craft the rice. A few seconds later, a rice ball drops into my backpack. I eat it on the spot, holding it in both hands, the warmth of fullness spreading through my stomach until I am almost happy. 1 ball is not enough. I have a second. It is the first time in my life that plain rice has ever tasted that good. With the panic of hunger gone, I look at the vines in my pack and realize that everything in this world is probably a usable resource. I take the shovel back out and chop down one of the larger trees, and the system gives me wood. Smaller trees only become firewood. I stay in the room and keep stripping it. I clear the room down to the turf. The wild grasses do not register as anything valuable. The sun is fading and I need to see, so I open crafting and find a torch recipe that takes 1 piece of wood and burns for 10 minutes. I make 1. My current haul comes to 4 wood, 2 of the mineral waters, 300 milliliters of water, an empty water bottle, 350 grams of rice, 4 vines, 24 pieces of firewood, and the stone chest. With only 10 backpack slots, I move the bulk into the chest in the base. As I am about to keep moving, a new prompt appears telling me that the stone under the large tree root is unusual, extremely hard, and the root could not erode it. I had not bothered digging the tree out by the roots since it was not worth the time, and I had missed the stone. I plant the torch in the ground, dig the stone out, and find a piece of quartz that is white through and through, and ice cold to the touch. The system describes it as exceptionally hard, useful for building, and possibly other things. The next prompt suggests I use the quartz to craft a sharp stone spear that will help me kill monsters. The recipe asks for 2 wood and 1 stone. The main god adds a sneering note that the harder the stone, the more lethal the spear, and that diamond would be the most suitable. A 2-meter stone spear materializes in my hand, taller than I am, and the heft of it gives me real security. If I run into another snake or whatever, I can simply impale it. I tuck it away and wander the rune hoping for more prompts, and pull up the world channel to see how everyone else is doing. People are stuck in front of doors trying to decide whether to open them, dying inside roasting deserts, complaining that materials like dirt and sand and debris are nearly worthless, and that the 10-slot backpack forces hard choices. The regional channel is more useful. Jinna offers to be someone's girlfriend in exchange for food. Manhwa warns everyone that the downward passage drops you a long way, and he has hurt himself badly. Richard advises people to camp until sunrise without a torch. From the day and night warnings, I gather that monster activity tracks the cycle, and that night may give me opportunities against creatures that rest after dark. Those of us with prompts are simply living a different game. I circle the room a few more times without seeing anything new. The original passage is sealed. 5 directions are open, and prompts attached to each. The room ahead has nothing but lowest plateau soil, edible only as famine food. The room behind has a pack of wild boars. One I could kill, but a pack would just be feeding them. The left room has a pool with fish I cannot reach because my swimming is bad, though I could at least gather some water. The right room has a wooden chest. Finding it requires some skill, and the contents may surprise me. The lower room has food, but the doorway is 3 meters off the ground and I have no way up. Without hesitating, I pick the right room and head for the wooden chest, since the prompt has already proven its worth. The right room is a set of weathered ruins, stones crumbling at a touch, rusted weapons, broken human bones scattered everywhere. The whole place gives me a chill, but I push through. I pick up a human skull which the main god recommends as a wine cup, an intact porcelain bowl and wall bricks for upgrading the base. I will not touch the bones beyond glancing at them. The wooden chest is nowhere visible. Then prompts begin to feed me directions. Walk forward to the central area, look for a stone gate and do not rush in or weathered stones will collapse on me. I find the gate. The next prompt points out a small, severely weathered red stone on the right side of the gate that I should shatter to bring the whole thing down in a controlled collapse. I strike with the shovel. The small stone shatters, and the gate trembles into a chain reaction. I retreat fast and watch the stones come down in a cloud of dust. Inside, prompts guide me to a pile of bones that hides a wooden chest beneath them. But before I can reach in, a fresh prompt stops me cold. It asks me whether I know why so many human bones are piled on top of this wooden chest, and answers itself by saying, "Those fellows are all dead." The hint hovers right around the chest. My whole body comes to a halt, and a cold sweat breaks out over me. Without the hint, I would have died here just like the rest of them. I step 3 full steps back and eye the chest, unsure how to proceed. The next prompt explains, "This is not an ordinary chest. It is a treasure chest monster. And if I charge straight up to it and reach my hand or head inside, it will reveal its true form and tear me to shreds." Looking at the skeletal remains littering the floor, I see the descriptions match. Every body is missing either its hands or its head. I gulp hard. The next prompt tells me to use the stone spear, pry the lid open, and then drive the spear hard through the gap to kill the creature inside. I take a long breath, force my fear down, ease the lid up with the spearhead, and then thrust with everything I have. A whistling shriek tears from the chest as black bristled limbs sprout from its sides, and the body cavity opens into a maw of arrow-sharp teeth. My spearhead sinks into a long red tongue. The system tells me this is the main god's proudest creation, designed to toy with players, and that killing it will give up its treasures. I brace the butt of the spear against my own breastbone and use my hard chest as leverage as the thing thrashes. The pain in my sternum is enormous, but I refuse to let go. My face goes red with effort. My breath catches, and I drive the spear through its body. The system confirms the kill, and even after the prompt, I keep stabbing the thing several more times before I can make myself stop. A small black stone like a dark diamond appears in my hand, an earth demon core. The description says the core has earth attribute magic and a wide range of uses. I do not know what to do with it yet, so I drop it into my pack and turn to the corpse. A prompt offers to decompose it. I do not let it yet. I reach into the dead monster's mouth and pull out an object of cold marble, hollowed out and shaped with a stylized flower. An incomplete small magic fountain of excellent grade. The description says it can be completed by setting a water demon core into the base, then powered with an energy source to draw water elements from the air and produce 1 liter of water per day. The main god's note calls it an ornament. The system also lists the in-game grade ladder for me. Trash, common, excellent, perfect, rare, legendary, epic, mythic. I murmur the words magic fountain under my breath, marveling. I am not short of water yet, so I will save the water demon core search for later. With this fountain in my future, I will not have to fear thirst again. I store it. I let the system decompose the chest monster and I receive 2 portions of thigh meat on the bone, 2 portions of forelimb meat on the bone, and 4 pieces of wood. The limbs were thin, so what is called meat on the bone is mostly skin, but the system has thoughtfully scraped off the black bristles. Living off only rice in this labyrinth would leave me malnourished, and I need protein. I rest a moment, sweep the room again, and find nothing but a large quantity of wall bricks, which I collect because they take only 1 slot no matter how many I haul. I am going to need them to upgrade the base. I move forward into the next room, which holds nothing but iron ore, and I take 10 pieces. Then I move left into a room with a bit of food, and add 500 grams of flour and 50 grams of sesame oil to my pack. By the time I have all of that, my body is finished for the day. I open the steamed bun recipe, 50 grams of flour, 100 milliliters of water, 3 firewood, and the grilled treasure chest monster 4-limb recipe, and I make myself a meal. The buns are fragrant. The grilled meat tastes embarrassingly gamey, like cheap mutton. The system seems indifferent to taste. I light my own fire and grill the rest of the skin myself, which takes a while, and I spend the time scrolling chat. Players have been finding strange things. Earthworms that supposedly taste like chicken. Accumulated materials but no water. A man who dug up turf to see what was beneath while a bull stood and watched. I checked the regional channel and see the population has dropped from 1,000 to 888 in a single day. The missing have died to the labyrinth's monsters. Sui has rice but no water and is gnawing on it dry. Myungyu has water but no food and wants to trade. Then there is Geiru, telling everyone not to touch the chests because his hand was bitten off by one and he is bleeding out. Drifting, saying he is going to sleep. The channel offers him gentle blessings, while a few skeptics insist he is lying and that the chests have good things inside. I sigh into my own fire, knowing that without the prompt I would have died exactly as he did, swallowed alive by a chest mouth full of arrow-shaped teeth. I finish the last piece of self-grilled chest monster meat, throw the bone into the firewood pile, summon the base, and fall into the most peaceful sleep I have had since arriving. When morning comes and the false sun warms my face, I eat 2 steamed buns and head out to keep exploring. This time the prompts in front of me all describe traps. The room ahead is a trap and arrow corridor. I might survive if I have agile reflexes like a wildcat, or any item that can block flying arrows. The left room is a tropical rainforest in mountain leech breeding season, and rushing in is suicide. The right room holds a riddle wizard who will reward correct answers and kill me with magic if I cannot answer. The room above has 2 centaur archers who will turn me into a hedgehog. The room below is an escape room I might solve with my prompts but cannot complete because I lack a key item. Every direction is dangerous. I rule out the leeches first because I have seen documentaries about them. I rule out the riddles because the game is too new for me to know its lore. I rule out the centaurs because in Warcraft those things ran fast and shot accurately. And even an arrow-blocking shield will not save me from being chased through their range. I rule out the lower room because I lack the required item. And if I do not have it, no other player has it either, so no auction will save me. That leaves the trap room, and the prompt explicitly says a tool that blocks arrows is enough. I open crafting and look for defensive items. The wooden shield blocks ordinary blows but can be pierced by powerful arrows and has poor durability. The leather shield, wood cord and animal hide covered, blocks most damage but still loses to powerful arrows. The iron-plated shield is wood cord and iron-faced, and the description calls it invincible in the early game until durability runs out, with ordinary arrows unable to pierce it. The armor recipes, cloth, leather, light, heavy, all require blueprints I do not have, but the iron-plated shield does not. The shield recipe needs 3 iron plates, 1 wooden hammer, and 5 wood. The iron plate recipe needs 5 iron ore, a wooden or iron hammer, and 5 charcoal or coal. I have 10 iron ore, enough for 2 plates. I need 5 more. I cannot make an iron hammer, but a wooden hammer takes 2 wood and only loses durability with use. Coal can be bought, but I can also make charcoal. 1 wood produces 5 charcoal, which is efficient. With those substitutions, I just need 5 more iron ore. I open chat and look at what other players are doing. Many are unlucky, encountering monsters and arrows instead of food and water. The regional channel has shrunk to 834. The most common message is the cry for water and food. I have plenty of food right now, flour and rice. Enough for several days, and the magic fountain in my future means water will not be a problem long term. So I list rice on the auction. My listing offers 100 grams of rice for 1 water demon core, or alternatively, 5 iron ore or 1 iron plate. The moment it goes up, the chat detonates. People are screaming about a rich man trading actual food, asking what a water demon core even is, and whether anyone knows. Someone notes that at this stage the only precious things are food and water, and that a man who can take rice out of his bag must have a warehouse of it back home. Someone with iron ore but no rice begs me to trade. The screen scrolling is so fast I can barely read it, and on top of that come the private messages. A self-described little rich lady from the south offers me her body and her family fortune for 100 grams of rice when the game ends. A man with a lot of wood asks for 50 grams in exchange for 20 wood. A player offers iron plate and a pile of sand for the rice. Many of them, but not one with a water demon core in hand. I update the order, splitting it. 50 grams of rice for 10 iron ore or 2 iron plates is a buy it now trade, and 75 grams of rice for 1 water demon core hanging there until someone gets one. The chat detonates again. Within a heartbeat, the iron ore offer fills, and 10 pieces of iron ore arrive in my pack. The chat is still scrolling with people lamenting that they missed the rice. Bosses of major companies, popular celebrities, people I would never have spoken to in the real world, all begging me for a portion. Yebok offers me tens of billions out of his family's hundreds of billions. Robin tells me she played the most charming fairy in some movie and offers herself for 200 grams of rice. Yuguan tells me his name as if it were significant. I do not care. They had power outside. They have nothing in here. Most of them will die. With iron ore in hand, I craft 3 iron plates, then assemble the iron-plated shield. Holding it, I realize it is no heavier than a slightly weighty wooden board. It comes up to about half my height. With the shield in my left hand and the stone spear in my right, I feel like an ancient soldier, missing only armor. Now I can challenge the trap room. The prompt at the door tells me that although my hands and feet are not as agile as a wildcat, and my movements are not movie grade, the shield in my hand should give me the confidence to win, and as long as it is still daylight, I should move forward calmly. I take a long breath, hold the shield in my left and the spear in my right, and walk into the corridor. With every step, my heart beats harder. As I reach the door at the end of the corridor, a prompt warns me that opening it will trigger arrows from the doorway. I set the spear aside, twist the door open from behind cover, and press my back to the door, stepping carefully. A long whoosh of arrows fires past as the trap discharges. Sweat pours, my face slackens, and I exhale. I would already be dead without the prompt. The next instruction tells me to enter quickly and raise the shield. The shield gets heavy as the first internal mechanism activates. I drop my head, charge in with the shield up, and arrows ring against the iron plate as a recoil shock travels up my arms. The next prompt says the marble tiles will collapse if I stay on any of them more than 3 seconds. I keep moving. Behind me a tile shatters and a deep pit yawns open beneath where I had stood. Falling in would be the end. More arrows come from the front. The rain does not stop, and any time I pause to absorb a volley, I lose the precious time I need to keep ahead of the floor. The next prompt points out a metal lever by the wall ahead that I can smash with the shield, since pulling it will activate or deactivate a portion of the traps. 10 meters in front of me, the lever sits caked in bronze rust, shimmering faintly in the false sunlight. I want to sprint, but I cannot stop blocking arrows, and every pause means the tiles behind me eat more ground. The webs of my hands have split and bleed onto the shield grip, but the pain keeps me sharp. My mind is a fever of fear and clarity at the same time, every breath sharp. The world distilled down to the strip of stone in front of me. I tell myself I am almost there, gritting my teeth, gripping the shield in both hands now as the impact of the arrows tries to drive me back. The next prompt warns that there is a tile straight ahead I cannot step on, so I have to detour right, which adds distance and gives the floor more time to collapse. The marble behind me is collapsing tile by tile faster and faster. Every single step I take is the last possible second on the stone I just left. A falling stone the size of a refrigerator crashes through a tile right next to me. If I had crossed it, I would be paced. I curse my own thighs for going numb when I most need them, and the absurdity that they do not go numb when I see a beautiful woman. I force myself onward, 1 step, 2 steps, dragging legs that feel like they are filled with lead. I calculate that at the next step the tile under me will fall away. That is it. I am finished. Then the prompt screams at me to smash the lever with everything I have. I close my eyes, raise the shield, and bring it down on the lever as my back foot dangles over nothing. The lever drops with a heavy clank. The tiles stop collapsing. I crash to the ground, my back leg unsupported, but I keep the shield up in front of my face, against more incoming arrows. My face is pale and tinged purple. My eyes shot through with red. I have used up the bravest part of myself. I get to a safe spot and only then look back at the abyss behind me. From below comes a low, terrifying roar, and my chest tightens. There is something even worse down there. Without the prompts, I would already be feeding it. I do not look long. The next prompt tells me to raise my shield and walk forward to take what is mine, that there is no more danger. The arrows are coming from mechanical crossbows mounted ahead. I raise the shield and inch up to them. Then the prompt directs me to pick up my spear and destroy them. I jam the stone spear into one of the crossbows and the parts inside snap. The crossbow jams in a chain of failures with the others, all of them turning to wood shavings within seconds. I move forward to the stone platform that holds the rewards. 3 fruits sit there. A primary experience fruit shaped like a pear, a purple immortal fruit that looks like an apricot and immediately removes all poisoning effects while granting 10 minutes of poison immunity, and a holy spirit fruit that looks like a jujube, dispels curses and increases physical attributes by half. The experience fruit goes into me on the spot. The crunch of it is heavenly, the kind of feeling that makes a man think he is the master of the world for a moment, and the fact that I finished it so fast leaves my mouth aching for one more. The system pings. I have consumed a primary experience fruit and gained a large amount of experience, and my level rises from 1 to 2, and from 2 to 3 in the same breath. The strength in my arms jumps so much that the iron-plated shield, which had been clumsy a moment ago, sits in my hand like nothing. I think to myself that leveling is good, but I still miss the feeling of stuffing my face. The purple immortal fruit and the holy spirit fruit I save. Gas chambers, poisonous snake rooms, and curses are all possibilities I cannot rule out. And these two fruits are extremely important right now because the auction is no detoxification or curse-breaking medicines for sale anywhere. The 5 new doorways ahead each carry a prompt about a wooden chest. The forward room has food, the left has metal ore, the right has pre-made tools. The upper room's meat has gone bad, but there is enough to fill me up. The lower room has special items that will help me survive in the later stages. After what I have just lived through, this is a gift, and I am momentarily paralyzed by choice. I take the long view. I am not short of food. I do not really need ore. I can craft tools myself. I will not eat rotten meat. The lower room wins. Special items for the late game. The lower room has no traps and the door is flush with the floor. A wooden chest sits in the center. The prompt tells me it is ordinary, not a treasure chest monster, so I open it. The system rewards me with a wooden chest as an item, a farmhouse courtyard blueprint, and an energy stone. I dismantle the wooden chest into 3 wood. Its description has a main god commentary I deliberately ignore. The farmhouse courtyard blueprint upgrades the junk quality base into a normal quality base with farmland. The energy stone is a standard fuel for magic items with wide application. The farmhouse courtyard requires 500 wall bricks, 100 soil, 50 stone, 20 wood, 2 iron ingots, an earth demon core, and a light magic core. I learn the blueprint immediately. I do not have all the materials yet, but I can collect them, and once it is built, I will have farmland to grow food, and the magic fountain will give me water. I am not in a rush to push into the next room. I tuck most of my supplies into the base and lie on the bed with the chat panel open. Among the flood of private messages, the system filters out something useful. Jiwi, level 1, asks for 200 grams of rice in exchange for 1 water demon core. Her avatar is pretty, but in the early game her ratio is bad. I tell her the offer is 75 grams. She tries to bargain for 100. I tell her if she does not take it, someone else will, and she should not let the chance slip. She trails off. The auction is otherwise full of players dumping materials with no food or water listed. A moment later, the system pings. Jiwi has paid 1 water demon core for my 75 grams of rice. I pull out the small magic fountain and seat the blue, crystal-shaped core into the groove at the base. The fountain becomes complete, fine quality, and the prompt asks for an energy stone to spray water continuously for 7 days, 1 liter per day. After the trap room, I have already drained one of the mineral water bottles, and am down to barely 300 milliliters. In a little while, I would be in trouble. A person can survive at most 3 days without water, and I can already feel the early symptoms hovering. I insert the energy stone. The fountain begins, a tiny stream rising from a flower-shaped nozzle and pooling in the base's reservoir, which holds a liter at a time. The fountain only works inside the base. I am no longer in danger of thirst. I disassemble my last bottle of mineral water into 300 milliliters of water and a bottle, and then I list water on the auction. 200 milliliters for 1 light magic core, 50 milliliters for 2 iron ingots. The fountain produces a liter a day, which is more than many players have found in 2 days, so I am giving up almost nothing. The chat detonates a 3rd time. People declare me a god of the early labyrinth, willing to call Jiho a god of the early maze game. Someone asks what I keep wanting these strange items for, and how much I really know about the maze. Another points out that water is more precious than common food, because a person can live half a month without food, but at most 3 days without drinking water. Another player offers 100 milliliters of water for something good, and someone else complains that this Korean's luck is too good and that the rest of the world is not convinced. The world channel is moving so fast that players from every region are arguing past each other. In my regional channel, Gangjun calls me an overlord and tells me so directly. Gango points out my level is already 3. Yusika laments that her own experience bar is at 4/5 even after 4 rooms, and asks how I have leveled this fast. A flood of private messages comes again, but I do not bother. 2 iron ingots arrive in my inventory. Now the farmhouse courtyard upgrade is 1 step closer. Wall bricks 500 out of 500. Soil 0 of 100. Stone 0 of 50. Wood 7 of 20. Iron ingot 2 of 2. Earth magic core 1 of 1. Light magic core 0 of 1. The bricks I picked up from the chest monster room saved me. Soil, stone, and wood are easy enough. The earth demon core came from the chest monster. All I am missing is the light magic core. I have to wait. While I wait, I craft a replacement weapon. An iron spear, recipe 5 iron ore and 1 wood. The sharpness will outclass the stone spear, but I prefer the long form, since an inch longer is an inch stronger. The recipe takes, and I now hold a 2-meter iron spear that makes me feel like a legendary general reborn. Now I can enter the 6th room. The new prompts tell me the room ahead has a forest with hornets' nests in every tree, where chopping is suicide. The room behind has a lone wild boar I can drop with shield and spear. The left room is full of ice and snow, with snow water I can collect briefly. The right room has a labyrinth sprite captured by an evil goblin magician, and if I kill the magician at night, I rescue the sprite for a special reward. The lower room is full of venomous snakes and certain death without protective gear. The sprite and magician option is what catches me. The prompt did not mark the room as dangerous, so I can go. The next prompt, posted at the doorway, tells me to wait until the dead of night, when the magician will be in deep sleep, and then kill him with a single spear thrust. Entering now will mean death by fireball. I look up and see the false sun is already setting. While I wait, I drill spear and shield together. They work as a perfect tank package, and I would only be more dangerous with armor. I wait for hours, then take out the chest monster meat and grill it, eating slowly and humming. And another prompt reminds me that the magician is not yet in deep sleep. I drink, I wait, and finally the prompt tells me to approach without a sound. I push the door of the 6th room open silently. Inside is a forest with a meadow at its center, and a tent on the meadow. A campfire still burns outside. Loud snoring rolls out of the tent. I move across the grass at the speed of a snail. 1 step, 2 steps. Slow enough that the grass does not crunch and the leaves do not whisper. I have watched Animal World, and I know a hunter does not need to be stronger than its prey, only more patient. Even a tiger approaches a deer, 1 tiny step at a time. What would normally take a few minutes takes me a full half hour. By the time I have crossed the meadow, my legs ache and my back is damp with sweat. But I have arrived outside the tent without so much as a creak. Through the gaps in the canvas, I can see the magician's greenish belly rising and falling, and tied near him, the sprite, about the size of a small baby with translucent wings on her back, wearing exquisite cloth clothing, glowing with a faint green light. Then she suddenly cries out, calling me a brave adventurer and begging me to save her in a voice like a child's, loud and bright and absolutely the worst possible thing she could have done. The magician's eyes snap open, and his right hand grabs his wand, his head turning toward the tent's entrance. He has just woken from deep sleep and cannot work out what is happening fast enough. I curse her under my breath as a useless teammate and lunge, driving my spear at his stomach. He shouts at me, calling me an insidious, despicable human, and starts gathering red fire at the tip of his wand. The prompt tells me to raise the shield right now. I yank the spear back and slam the shield up just in time as a fist-sized fireball detonates against the iron plate, the explosion of flame whipping outward and throwing the shield back. The plate is scorched black. My health drops by 20%. A fireball is magic damage, not pure physical, and my whole body burns as the synthetic fibers of my cheap clothes melt onto my skin, and my hair stinks of burning. My left hand is the worst of it, in screaming pain. The next prompt tells me to kill the magician now and not let him cast a second one. My desperation carries me. I drop the shield, grip the spear in both hands, ignore my hand, and drive the spear into his sternum with everything I have. At level 3, I have 1.5 times normal strength, and the spear punches through skin, threads down between ribs, and shreds his organs. Goblin anatomy may be different from human, but everything inside dies regardless of which side it is on. And the magician's eyes go wide and he breathes his last. The system pings me twice for killing a higher level enemy, and I jump from level 3 to 4 and 4 to 5. My left hand is genuinely ruined now from forcing it through the kill. The system tells me my left hand is fractured and advises a healing potion, which I have no idea where to find. Then the next prompt tells me not to worry. Go untie the sprite, she can heal me. I cut her bonds with my right hand. She apologizes, telling me she got too excited when she saw me. She tells me she has blessing magic that can heal me and that from now on we are friends because I risked my life to save her. She presses her tiny hands together, closes her eyes, and sings a beautiful song with her mouth slightly opening and closing, and a faint light of vitality rises from her and wraps around me. The system tells me I have received the sprite's life blessing, full healing, and a buff that increases my physical stats by 40% for 1 day. The fracture is gone, the pain is gone, the feeling is like floating in warm water. A wave of comfort that rolls through every cell. She tells me to wear the ring she has woven from grass stems, and that next time I meet her kin, they will bless me. A small ring of green grass appears in my palm. The system labels it the Elf Friend Ring, rare grade, with a normal effect that doubles my health regen and a special effect that makes labyrinth sprites I encounter cast blessings on me, rather than flee. The description tells me each sprite can only weave one such ring, that it is one of the main god's favorite creations, and that it carries rich vitality. I stare at the ring in surprise. Rare grade items should not appear until the mid-game, and should still be uncommon then. In the early game, even perfect grade items are rare, and a ring like this is an early game artifact. I think about it and understand the design. Saving a sprite from a goblin magician was almost certainly meant to be impossible for an early game player, since most of them have nothing in hand, not even a stick, and would simply burn under the fireball. The ring is the prize for doing the impossible. and the only reason I am holding it is because the prompts let me do what was supposed to be undoable. I tell Nicole goodbye and wish her safe travels, calling her little Nicole. She flaps off into the air, smiling. The system asks if I want to salvage the magician. I do. I obtain Goblin secret drug ×1 in a green glass bottle, the Goblin healing herb recipe, Goblin meat ×5, Goblin blood 500 milliliters, and an energy stone. The Goblin secret drug, an excellent grade item, increases strength by 30% on consumption, but it is extremely bitter and must be taken with something sweet, or its effect is halved. I have nothing sweet, so I save it. I learn the herb recipe immediately and the parchment dissolves into white light. Healing potions are critical for the early game. Without them, serious wounds simply kill you. The Goblin healing medicine recipe needs 5 purple moss, 2 thornflower, 2 longshiang grass, 2 horsetail grass, 100 milliliters of purified water, and a glass bottle. I have only the water. I open the auction and search. Raw materials are common, with purple moss only marginally more expensive because of its detoxification effect, and listing my own buy orders will drive prices down further. There is no healing medicine for sale anywhere because medicine is too precious. I am already a step ahead of the rest of the labyrinth. I keep the Goblin blood and the energy stone, and I put the Goblin meat aside as well, because the meat is sour and foul with a description that warns 1 bite ruins your day. I do not need to discuss myself, but I might need food in an emergency. As I am preparing to leave the room, the system chimes. The 200 milliliters of water has sold, and a light magic core arrives. With it, the upgrade requirements close. Mud is everywhere. 1 shovel cubic gives me a unit, and I quickly hit 100. Wood is easy in this forest, and I exceed the 20 I need by chopping a few more trees. Stone is what I am missing, and the next room, described in the prompt as full of rocks where wild mice live in the cracks, gives me the chance, but it requires a chisel, recipe 5 iron ore or 1 iron ingot, 5 charcoal, and 200 milliliters of water. Other players might balk at spending water on stone, but with the magic fountain I do not have to think twice. I make the chisel, smash the rocks, and harvest more than 100 stones. These are ordinary, not the special quartz I found earlier. With everything ready, the system asks if I want to upgrade. I do. The remote pops up, my hut shimmers, and after a moment the dilapidated thatched hut has become a farmhouse courtyard, normal quality, with 2 living spaces and 4 farmland plots. The description calls it a happy farmhouse that might remind me of childhood. The interior has gone from drafty wood to a real home. While other players are still trying to find food and water, I have taken a long step forward. The living space description tells me I can place special functional equipment there, and the small magic fountain does not occupy that kind of space, so the gear that does must be unusual. I walk over to the farmland and step on it twice, and something deep in my genes wakes up. It is a shame I have no seeds and can only stare. I am tired. To kill the magician I waited from day to night, then did heavy labor, and the life blessing buff has not run out but is running thin. I will sleep. In the past I would have scrolled my phone in bed. Now I scroll the channels. Players are pinned in rooms with wolves they dare not move on. Others are dying for healing medicine. Others are begging me to come back and sell water. Once you have demonstrated a thing, people decide you are a wilderness expert, and I let them think it. In the regional channel, Jiwi tells everyone to make a weapon so they can fight back when they meet beasts. Hyun-sung calls her the #1 person under that man. Yu calls me terrifying for already being level 5. Jae-sun confesses he tried to slaughter a sprite and got cursed. Soli shows off a normal grade combat knife from a treasure chest. The gap between me and them is wide. Sleep takes me down quickly. I wake up and step into the 8th room. It is an orchard. Most fruit has rotted or turned poisonous, but the tangerines are still good. I take 9 of them. The system labels them sweet tangerine, common quality, a main god variety that is sweet and edible. In the real world, I would not have been excited by a tangerine. In the south, you can buy 2.5 pounds for 10 won, but here I bite into one and the fragrance fills my mouth. The peel peeled off carefully, the chew of it slow and almost tearful. The main god's twisted humor aside, the things he creates are surprisingly decent. Now I have something sweet. I take out the Goblin's secret drug. The bottle is a black-green stagnant watercolor and the smell hits me before the taste, foul and rotten. I peel a tangerine, put it in my mouth, and pour the drug after it. The bitterness is enormous, with a numbing edge beneath, and I bite the tangerine hard to neutralize it. Only then does it smooth out. The system confirms my strength is up 30%. The medicine warms in my belly and a current flows through me. My muscles actually grow under my skin and split my jeans in several places. With the iron-plated shield and the iron spear, I look like an ancient general. A man who feels his own strength wants to find someone to test it on, the way a rich man wants to spend money on women, and I want a labyrinth monster to test mine. I prepare for the 9th room. The new prompts tell me the room ahead is a swamp needing special equipment. The The right room has an iron chest guarded by an adult quill-spiked wild boar. I risk injury, but the chest's items are critical for my future survival, so I should give it a try. The left room has a stone chest with nothing tempting. The upper room is empty. The lower room has water and a rotting wild dog with disease. The quill-spiked wild boar is not a normal boar, and after my adrenaline-fueled certainty earlier, I hesitate. The opportunity carries the risk. Without risk, there is no opportunity. I decide on the right and pick up my shield. A new prompt warns that opening the door triggers the boar's charge. I open carefully, hear the thumping rush, and get the iron-plated shield up just in time. The impact shudders through me as if a 100-pound sledgehammer has hit the shield, and my left hand throbs under it. The system tells me the shield has taken several violent impacts already, that durability is low, and that it is about to break. I curse loudly. The shield had already lost half its durability under the magician's fireball, and I had thought what was left would last me days. I had not expected to lose it in a single charge. The boar in front of me is no simple beast. Over 100 pounds of muscle, fanged, black-skinned all over its body, with a ring of arrow-sharp spikes growing around its neck. The spikes are a defensive feature that will spear any other beast trying for a throat-locking move, and almost certainly send it home in pieces. I am a level 5 player, I have the Goblin secret drug active, and I am no longer the weakling I was before. I drop my care for the shield, usable for now, and if it breaks I will just make another. Pick up the spear and drive it into the boar's body where its weight pushes against my shield. The spear punches through the defenses, breaking through cleanly and piercing all the way out the other side, blood spraying. I feel a surge of joy, pull the spear back, and ready a second strike. But the boar feels its death, screams, and goes berserk. It knows it is either me or it. It slams into the shield with everything it has, its hard fangs hammering through the iron plate and striking inside, and the iron-plated shield breaks as the boar's body rams my chest. A dull ache spreads through me. My lungs take the blow and my breathing stutters. My health drops 30%, and the system tells me a piece of my sternum is fractured. I am furious now, the kind of fury that pushes pain into the background. I drive the spear back into the boar, do not pull it out, swing it like a lever, and the immense strength I have built up tears the boar's belly open, ripping its muscles apart. It stops moving. The system confirms the kill. I spit a mouthful of bloody saliva onto its corpse. I am seriously injured. My health bar will recover, but the fracture's effect lasts a while. I am annoyed, but I am not panicked. I can craft a goblin healing potion. Recipe 5 purple moss, 2 thornflower, 2 longshan grass, 2 horsetail grass, 100 milliliters of purified water, 1 glass bottle. I open the auction and list trades using goblin blood since I have plenty of water and do not need it to drink. 200 milliliters of blood for 5 purple moss, 75 milliliters for 2 thornflower or 2 longshan and 2 horsetail, 75 milliliters for 1 glass bottle. The chat erupts again at the news that I am selling goblin blood. The world channel is full of people deciding water is water no matter how strong, and common materials are suddenly traded by the score. In the regional channel, Yu Young figures I must have killed a goblin to get the blood. Munhyung is awed that I attacked a labyrinth monster instead of running. Muncha wonders aloud what I am collecting all of these strange materials for. The world channel is somewhere between awe and outrage. Players passing the word that my blood is for sale, good quality and cheap. Others arguing it does not matter whether it is hard to drink because having something to drink at all is good enough. Others noting that the materials I am collecting are all very common and asking whether there could be a special use. And underneath all that, the cynics saying that even if there is a use, if I do not tell anyone, this stuff just rots in their hands. I close all of it. The materials I need for the healing potion will follow once buyers see the listings. What I need now is to start the work, and what I need above all is to stay alive long enough for the labyrinth to keep handing me chances. Other players are still trying to find a single mouthful of drinking water. I am sitting in a thatched hut turned farmhouse with a magic fountain running, a Sprite-blessed ring on my finger, and the recipe for healing potions in my head. The gap between me and the rest of the world is widening, one room at a time, and the prompts are the only reason for it. Everyone in this game is alone with the same main god. I am alone with him plus a whisper at every doorway. As long as I do not get arrogant, the whisper will keep me alive. The regional chat channel is alight, and my private inbox is filled up with messages I did not invite. Most of them ask the same thing, how I got the goblin blood. A few ask why I am collecting these particular materials, hoping to pry the puzzle out of me, and some are simply trying to freeload. I do not bother answering one by one. I post in the world channel that yes, I killed a goblin magician. The blood was obtained by decomposing the corpse, and the taste is bad, which is why I am selling it. The bit about healing potions stays in my pocket because the moment I admit to crafting them, the prices of every ingredient will jump and I will lose money. The freeloaders I ignore entirely. Once that single message goes up, the world channel, already noisy, hits a new high. Players spam their loyalty. declaring me a forever brother and promising to recite my name before entering the next room. Others mock the worship and call me just a bug. Others ask me to private message them and explain how I killed the goblin. One says I vented his frustration after he was chased by a fireball-wielding goblin. The rest just say I am awesome. In the regional channel, So Young gasps that the big shot is sitting in the same room as the rest of them, and that she has been the clown all along. Jiwi tells the others that as long as I am here, the channel is blessed, and they will eat well by following me. And Nickel guesses that I must be a top expert from Korea, someone who knows real ancient martial arts. I let them all guess. The system pings 5 times. My 200 milliliters of goblin blood for 5 purple moss is sold. The 75 milliliters for 2 thornflower has sold. The 75 for 2 horsetail grass is sold, and the 75 for 2 longjang grass is sold, and the 75 for 1 glass bottle has sold. Every material the healing potion recipe needs is now in my pack. I close the chat, open crafting, and watch the system assemble a bottle of goblin healing potion of common quality, capable of treating the kind of common injuries a player accumulates. Bleeding, fractures, severed limbs, and so on. I notice the word common and wonder briefly what advanced injuries might look like later in the game, then put the thought aside. I will deal with that when I have a more advanced potion to drink. I uncap the bottle and swallow it whole. The system tells me my physical condition has changed from sternum fracture to normal. The heaviness in my chest dissolves at once, the dull ache washing out, and I exhale a long breath of relief. I take out water and drink greedily. Anyone who can drink water like this in this labyrinth is, by definition, rich. The quill-spiked wild boar I killed has not been salvaged yet. I let the system decompose it. 5 portions of wild boar meat, 500 milliliters of wild boar blood, 5 wild boar quills, 1 energy stone. 5 portions where each portion weighs 1 kilogram means 5 kilograms total. For a creature that hurt me badly, the meat yield is staggering, and the system always reduces the amount I get from a corpse below the actual mass. So this beast must have been substantial. I will not need to look for food for many days. The wild boar meat, despite being wild, is described as having the same texture as a local domestic black pig after the main god's tweaks, and that is far better than goblin meat could ever hope to be. The wild boar blood is more interesting still. Drinking 500 milliliters increases my health bar's cap. The description quoting the main god's belief that you are what you eat. The quills are extremely sharp arrow material, capable of piercing ordinary shields below fine grade, and now I understand why my own iron-plated shield broke under the boar's charge. The spikes punching through the iron plate were not random fang strikes. They were these quills working as nature intended. The shield was probably never going to outlast the encounter no matter how I played it. I look at my broken shield lying on the ground and walk over to pick it up. The system offers to decompose it, and I accept. 2 iron plates come back into my pack, recovering some of the cost. I still have 5 iron ore, charcoal, and wood, and I have what I need to forge another iron-plated shield. The new shield is identical to the old one, which is to say not quite enough. I want a stronger shield. It is time to open the iron chest, the real prize of this trip. I walk slowly toward it. A special prompt confirms it is not dangerous and can be opened. I take the lid off and the system rewards me. 1 iron chest is a storage item, 1 phantom beast egg, 1 earth demon core, 1 water demon core, 1 dark magic core. I know the demon cores are crafting fuel, but I do not know what to do with the phantom beast egg, so I check the description. After hatching, it gives me a phantom beast that will be a loyal combat partner and greatly increase my survival odds. The egg is 1/2 meter tall, fiery red all over, smooth as a piece of artwork. I am no longer short of food. My combat capability, however, is still on the weak side, and the labyrinth is only going to get more dangerous as I level up. Hatching this egg fits exactly where I am weak. I tell the system to hatch it. The system tells me an incubator is required to hatch the phantom beast egg. I ask what an incubator is. The system ignores me. The auction house, when I search for phantom beast egg and incubator, returns nothing. At this stage, anyone whose exploration progress is even remotely close to mine is effectively me, and players without prompts certainly will not have stumbled into an incubator yet. I will have to wait. I place my hand on the warm shell and feel a heartbeat inside, faint but real. I tell the egg I will give it a name even though it is not yet born. I will call it Buja. I had always wanted to raise a dog when I was working in the real world, but never had the money to keep one in the city, and I had picked the name Buja for that hypothetical dog and kept it in the back of my mind ever since. Money was never quite enough. Raising a dog in a big city was hard. The pet I now have was not the one I planned for, but the name fits. After picking the name, I eat a little rice, rest, take up spear and shield, and check the rooms in the next directions. The room ahead has some pornographic books. The main god's commentary suggests I might want them if lonely and bored, and I do not. The left room is full of poisonous insects, and although I have antidotes, I have no protective gear. so I would only end up running around the map after being stung. The right room has a patch of quicksand and yellow soil, and gives me nothing if I pass through. The room above has a goblin magician currently hunting prey, and I would only become his prey if I climb up. The lower room is described as interesting, a main god game designed to play with human hearts, and the prompt encourages me to enter it and expose the twisted setup. I smile at the prompt. The main god wants to toy with players, but he cannot toy with me. I head down. As I walk the stairs, I wonder what kind of underhanded design awaits, whether it is the same kind of trick as the trap room where opening the door triggers hidden arrows. In the main god's eyes, every player summoned here is an ant to be crushed for amusement. At the entrance to the next room, the prompt offers no danger signal and tells me the things inside will surprise me. I push through with my emotions tangled, half certain there are surprises and half certain they come with terror. The moment I step through, a bright light floods my eyes and I lose my vision. The main god's flamboyant voice rolls out, the same one that greeted me on arrival. He welcomes me to the treasure raider's room and calls me both lucky and unfortunate. The lucky part, he says, is that this room is filled with treasure chests and any treasure I find is mine. The unfortunate part is that some of the chests contain not treasure but terrible traps and monsters, and the more chests I open, the more likely I am to release a monster. He calls me a greedy and foolish human player and tells me to make my decision. Do nothing and end with nothing. Or open chests, reach the peak of life, and then fall. He insists that everything is in my choices. The voice fades and my vision clears. I am standing in a room paved with marble, with treasure chests of every type laid out before me. Stone, wooden, iron, bronze. They are arranged in 4 rows of 5, each placed neatly on the marble, looking like beauties half undressed in sexy uniforms, waiting to be chosen. The main god's design is genuinely cruel. A player too cowardly to open even one chest will regret it later when a real obstacle appears that this room could have solved. A player too greedy, opening one and being fine and growing bold, will detonate himself in due course. The main god is enticing greed and punishing cowardice at the same time. When others fear, I am greedy. When others are greedy, I fear. I have the prompt, so my goal is clear. I will open every chest I can here and leave nothing for the main god. I walk up to a stone chest and the prompt warns me not to open the low-tier chests yet, because the Treasure Raiders game has unique rules. The first chest I open is guaranteed to give me good things to entice me to keep going, and if I waste that on a stone chest, I will only get a slightly above average stone reward. The prompt sends me to the bronze row instead. I walk past the low-tier rows and stand in front of the row of bronze chests. The system tells me a bronze chest is the lowest of its tier, only 2 levels below a gold chest, and opens to give some decent supplies. The prompt instructs me to pick any bronze chest and let the main god show me his hand. I stop in front of the middle one. My heart is pounding, my hands are sweating, my eyes are open wide. I take a deep breath and silently call on whatever deity might be listening. Buddha, the old heavenly master, the goddess of luck, and tell myself this is a once-in-a-thousand-year opportunity. I open the chest. The system gives me a rare grade castle blueprint, a perfect grade backpack blueprint, 5 energy stones, and the bronze chest itself, which can be kept or dismantled. 4 items. My backpack capped at 10 slots and now full. I check the most important item first. The castle blueprint, rare grade, allowing my portable base to upgrade into a castle and unlocking many functions. The cost is enormous. Any perfect grade portable base, 100 earth demon cores, 100 water demon cores, 100 fire demon cores, 100 ride magic cores, 100 dark magic cores, 500 energy stones, 2,000 wood, 5,000 stone, 200 iron ingots. But the description sells the dream. The castle is rare quality, granting massive living space, fields, and entertainment venues. It can be set to a war state with full firepower. It allows continual upgrades to facilities inside. It lets me set up multiple magic circles inside, and it lets me hire other players as servants. My eyes light up as I read it. The castle is the survival key for the late game. The current portable base is unbeatable now, but it will not stay that way later, and players will need a powerful base as their backbone. I want not just to live comfortably in the early game, but to become a god of the maze game world by the late game. I learned the castle blueprint immediately. The perfect grade backpack blueprint goes the same way. Recipe: 5 animal hides, 5 wind demon cores. The backpack has 50 slots, adds back defense equivalent to wearing a leather armor, and increases by movement speed by 20%. The description calls it a backpack of animal hide that can not only store items but defend against arrows from behind, and even let me move as fast as flying with the help of the wind demon core. Unlike the castle, this backpack I can build right now. It is exactly what I need for survival at this stage. 50 slots, defense, mobility. Together they let me sneak in, snatch rare items, and run while taking attacks on the back. The backpack absorbs the hits while the speed boost gets me out. Once I clear this room, I will go to the auction and gather materials. The system tells me my 10-slot backpack is full and asks if I want to dismantle the bronze chest. I do. 3 bronze ingots return to me. That frees 2 slots, but not enough. I dump the rest of my pack into the base, keeping only the purple immortal fruit and the Holy Spirit fruit on me for poison and curse defense, so I can ensure my backpack is empty for what comes next. The next prompt warns me I cannot open any more bronze chests right now. The remaining 4 either contain maze monsters, deadly traps, or are themselves treasure chest monsters. If I were strong enough, I could kill them, but at my current level, I would only be feeding them. The prompt tells me to open the next iron chest. I feel a flicker of regret. A single bronze chest gave me this much. Another one would be the prize of a lifetime, but the special prompt has been right too often for me to ignore now. I should not be greedy beyond my capabilities. I calm down. I am holding broken equipment and have to use my wits, not force, and being greedy when you cannot back it up is the road to death. I move to the iron chests. The next prompt names which one among the 5 iron chests. 4 contain danger, but only the leftmost one has good things. I walk to the leftmost iron chest. After bronze, my excitement for an iron chest is muted, but when the lid opens and the rewards hit my pack, my heart still trips. I get a fine-grade anesthetic powder recipe, a one-time use phantom beast incubator, and a small magic fountain. The incubator comes first because it is exactly what I need. Place the egg on the incubator and after 1 day a phantom beast hatches, with attributes increased by 10% because of this specific incubator, and the incubator vanishes after a single use. I now know what the farmhouse courtyard's living space is for. Special items like this. I open the base and place the incubator, which looks like a large bird's nest, into the spare living space next to the master bedroom. I tell my unborn cub to come out quickly, and I place the egg on it. The system begins a countdown. 23 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds. I do not leave the base. I take out the second reward, the small magic fountain. I already have one running, but a second one will double my output to 2 liters per day, which is enough for daily life. I have plenty of energy stones now and activate this fountain too. The anesthetic powder recipe I learn at once. The anesthetic powder, fine quality, requires colchicum, Paris polyphylla, Gastrodia alata, and rhubarb in pairs, can be applied to edged weapons or mixed into food, and paralyzes the enemy when it enters their body. I will craft some later for emergencies. The next prompt addresses the wooden chest row. All 5 are treasure chest monsters. I do not have the capacity to kill 5 at once. The prompt then directs me to the stone chests. The leftmost and rightmost have traps and monsters, and only the middle 3 are safe to open. I open the 3 middle stone chests and obtain 500 grams of flour, 1 cabbage seed, 1 water demon core, 1 wind demon core, 1 fire demon core, and 1 light magic core. The cabbage seed is the standout. Fine quality, plantable in farmland, growing cabbages I can harvest every 5 days. The description quoting the main god's belief that the texture is crisp and juicy, and that the cabbage can also be made into pickled vegetables. I do not plant it yet. I am about to leave. As I move to choose my exit, the main god's voice returns, this time wheedling. He asks if I am not going to open a few more, complaining I have only opened a handful. He insists the bronze chests still hold rare grade items, then divine artifacts. He calls me the most cowardly man he has ever seen. He tells me to go all in and that if I win, I get the high life and if I lose, I go work at sea. He calls me his fellow countryman and begs me not to leave. I ignore every word and walk straight to the door of the room ahead. The prompt confirms. The room ahead has nothing but is the safest exit, and the other 4 directions all hold terrifying labyrinth monsters arranged to ambush me. The main god has already lost. This is his last attempt to make me lose along with him. I rest in the next room, an empty floor of sand and dirt, and sit on the ground with a smile. The system pings me with the title Cowardly Man, granted by the main god in spite. The title will be displayed in the regional channel beside my name. I am told I have passed the test of the Raiders of the Lost Ark room and gained a large amount of experience, leveling from 5 to 6. The title system is unlocked. I open the title to read it. Cowardly Man, rare grade. No normal effect. Special effect being that taunts from other players are increased by 999. Description mocking me as a man so cowardly he will not even open treasure chests. The main god's pettiness is impressive. The taunt magnet effect is useless to me, since chat insults are not threats, and the title overall has no real game effect. I get a rare grade item that does nothing, but I also picked up a castle blueprint, a perfect backpack blueprint, an incubator, a healing recipe, and a cabbage seed in a single room, so the trade is in my favor by orders of magnitude. I open the base and lie on the bed in the farmhouse courtyard for a moment to take stock. Sorting my inventory, living supplies are 870 milliliters of water counting fountain output. 150 grams of rice, 750 grams of flour, 50 grams of sesame oil, 5 wild boar meat, 500 milliliters of wild boar blood, 5 goblin meat, 1 cabbage seed, 7 sweet tangerines, 1 purple immortal fruit, and 1 Holy Spirit fruit. Materials are 3 copper ingots and sharp quills. Magic items are 2 small magic fountains. Weapons and equipment are a spear, an iron-plated shield, and the elf friend ring. Tools are a chisel, a wooden hammer, an iron shovel, 3 500 milliliter water bottles, and 1 stone treasure chest. Phantom beasts are the egg and the disposable incubator. Energy stones are 6. Magic cores are 1 earth, 2 water, 1 wind, 1 fire, 1 light, 1 dark. Blueprints learned are farmhouse courtyard, castle, and perfect grade backpack. Recipes are goblin healing potion and anesthetic powder. Title is Cowardly Man. Reading the inventory back to myself, I have gone from a man with a shovel to a player who looks more like a god-tier expert than a beginner who only just entered the game. Ordinary players are still alone with no decent weapons, fighting monsters with iron shovels, drinking nothing and eating nothing, while I have a magic fountain, healing recipes, and a rare grade ring. I tell myself there is nothing to be complacent about. I have not even taken a bath in days, and I should keep working. I prepare to sell some items and craft the perfect grade backpack first. The thing I do not need is goblin meat. It tastes sour and foul, and a single bite makes me feel nauseous all day. I will not eat it, but the rest of the world is not as picky and may even consider it a lifesaver. I split 5 kilograms of goblin meat into smaller portions, 20 pieces of 250 grams each. I list 5 at 250 grams for 1 wind demon core. To trade for animal hides, since hides are themselves edible and players will not give them up cheaply, I increase the offer further, 50 grams for 1 hide, making the rate 100 grams of meat per hide if anyone takes both packs. After listing, I have 3,250 grams of goblin meat left for trades. The world channel boils. Someone calls out for a piece of meat for a starving little fairy. Another points out that the last time I had anyone calling me a braggart, here I am again with goblin meat after the blood. Someone with hides asks for more meat. In the regional channel, Jiwi notices my level has gone up again. Byung wonders aloud what kind of opponent he has been assigned in this room. Nickel marvels at how terrifying I must be in the real world. And Ryu Hyun concedes that compared to me, everyone in their channel, even the people who were big shots before the game, is nothing. I scan the messages and stop on a private. Sunji at level 1 offers to trade an alloy shield blueprint and a toilet blueprint for meat. The toilet does not interest me. In the maze, you go where you can, but the alloy shield does. I tell him to send me the alloy shield blueprint to look at. He sends it. Perfect alloy shield blueprint, after learning, allows me to design a super durable alloy shield. The shield itself is fine quality, immune to piercing effects from arrows below fine grade, with a special effect, Shield Bash, that smashes opponents and inflicts stun, stiffness, and bone fractures. The description calls it slightly heavy but excellent for adventure and survival. I am instantly tempted. To live longer, I have to be a tank. High HP, durable. I tell Sunji 1,000 grams of goblin meat for both blueprints. He cries that he can eat for days on 1,000 grams. The trade goes through. He follows up by asking why I have the Cowardly Man title. I tell him that is my title and it has no special effects. He asks how I got it. I tell him just luck, and ignore him. I learn the alloy shield blueprint. The recipe is 3 copper ingots, 5 iron ingots, 1 earth demon core, 1 light magic core, 20 charcoal, and 1 liter of water. I am only short on iron ingots. I list more meat at 50 grams for 2 iron ore, 25 listings of 250 grams each, calling the meat sour and stinky but still high in protein. I price aggressively, because I have plenty of pork to fall back on, and selling all of this would not hurt me, but for the rest of the world the price is barely a price at all. Players who unlocked a Wind Demon core complain on the world channel that they almost traded with me for one and missed the meat entirely. Others tell each other to dump iron ore fast and grab while they can. The world channel asks how much meat I have left, marvels that I am selling meat as if it costs nothing, and crowns me an eternal god. In the regional, Yaeki reports that besides the auction listings I have also traded 1,000 grams privately, and notes my title as the game's first. Jessica calls me a real tycoon. Lu Hui defends me. A man as strong as me cannot truly be cowardly. I must be resourceful, knowing when to act and when not to. Wang Min asks what they all are if I am the cowardly one. So Hyun shows off her new 500 grams of treasure chest meat and admits she feels small. The meat sells out fast, and I have all the iron ore I need. I synthesize 5 iron ingots from 50 iron ore and 50 charcoal, then craft the alloy shield from 3 copper ingots, 5 iron ingots, 1 earth demon core, 1 light magic core, 20 charcoal, and 1 liter of water. The new shield comes out blue tinged with an anti-rust coating. I am level 6 and the Goblin secret drug is still active, so picking it up one-handed is easy. Survival ability has gone up again. Then I take the wild boar blood out and prepare a meal. I light a fire, stack stones into a platform, make a stone pot, pour in water and the boar blood, season with sesame oil, and boil it down. The smell is wonderful, and once it has reduced, I make chopsticks and a wooden spatula from wood, scoop the food into a bowl, and eat it in big mouthfuls. The system pings. I have consumed 500 grams of quill-spiked wild boar blood, and my health bar cap has risen by 20%. I am not done. I had planned to make a perfect grade backpack and could not collect enough wind demon cores before, but now I have them. The system confirms the craft. I equip the backpack. My movement speed is up 20%. My back defense is now equivalent to leather armor. I look in the reflection of my new shield and see the difference. The perfect grade backpack does not look like the rough thing I was given at the start. It shines like high quality black leather. Shield in left, spear in right, backpack on shoulders. I look armored to the teeth. Time for the next room. I pick a herb field room next, the 12th room I have entered, and leave it stripped to bare black soil under the sun. I dig up 16 chonglu, 18 autumn crocus, 12 long shang, 13 gastrodia, 19 purple mossed flower, 12 thorn flower, 8 horsetail, 9 purple mustard. With glass bottles I can produce many batches of healing medicine. The anesthetic powder still needs rhubarb. The next set of prompts gives me the room layout. The room ahead has a god spawn, but first an orc with a stone axe. With a little wisdom I can defeat the orc. The left has a sewage pool, drinkable after boiling but tasting of mud. The right has spicy strips of a brand and flavor I will hate. The upper passage is too high. The lower has spikes and broken shoes will not save me. The god spawn term is unfamiliar. I joke to myself that it sounds like the main god's rebellious child, someone who squandered the main god's family fortune. But the prompt sends me ahead, and where the prompt sends me, I go. The next prompt details the orc fight. The orc is powerful but brainless. My shield held steady will defeat it. My weapon is too trash, only ordinary quality, so I will deal little damage and the fight will be a war of attrition. The prompt warns me to act in daylight because at night the orc gets night enhancement and beast-like vision. I have about 3 hours of light. I push through. The orc is green-skinned, muscled like a strong man, tusked, drooling, and discussing aloud whether to eat me as meat buns, stir-fried with chili, or steamed. He muses to himself that he wishes more humans would come. I am not afraid. The labyrinth has trained me. I raise the spear, accelerate suddenly, and drive the spearhead into its chest before it reacts. My spear is ordinary quality. A thick-skinned orc takes only surface damage and a bit of bleeding. It curses me, calls me a mutt, and charges with its homemade stone axe. Its sturdy build does not look agile, but it moves quickly. The axe falls toward me. I get the alloy shield up just in time and the recoil hits hard but is much lighter than the fireball was. I withstand it. While its axe is rising for the second swing, I drive the spear at its neck, a vulnerable place, with many vessels, and the orc bleeds rapidly from a small but well-placed wound. Its second axe arrives and I block it with the shield, and the prompt tells me to use shield bash and stop playing turn-based games with a brainless orc. I had forgotten. The alloy shield special effect lets me smash the opponent for stun, stiffness, and bone fractures. After every orc swing it pulls the axe back to set up the next, and that is exactly the window. I let the second blow connect, then bring the shield around in a wide arc and slam it into its head. The metal-on-bone impact is enormous. The orc's head rocks back and forth and it just stands, doing nothing, stunned. The prompt tells me not to bother with the spear and to keep smashing. I oblige with both hands on the shield, and the orc soaks 7 blows before it falls. If it had been a man, his head would already be pasted. I shout at it to be a person for once and deliver the 8th strike. The system confirms the kill. I tell myself 8 is the limit, smiling. The orc's head is caved in, its tongue hanging out. I decompose. 5 orc meat, 500 milliliters of orc blood, an orc axe, and an energy stone. Orc meat is sour but not foul. Orc blood, the description tells me, cannot be drunk to quench thirst, but consumption gives men benefits. The main god names the effect boiling orc blood. An aphrodisiac, basically. I am a man of vigor already, but every bit helps, and I will drink more in the future. The orc axe is fine quality, a stone axe useful for chopping wood or fighting, with high durability and no need for repairs. No special effects, and compared to my own alloy shield, it is far inferior. High durability is no special effect on its own. I do not have a better weapon yet, so I take it for now. I look for the god's spawn. The orc's tent is the same kind of rag a goblin lives under. Players who pick it up will only see a no value, discard prompt, and inside is a cage and a wooden chest. The god's spawn is in the cage, looking like a slime, gray-black, lying limp and motionless. The system describes it. God's spawn, excellent quality. Can be transplanted into a living creature's body where it will devour the host, then planted in a field where, given a large amount of water on the first day and daily watering thereafter, it will absorb essence from water, sunlight, moonlight, and earth, and produce meat of equal mass to the water it drinks. On a 30-day cycle, the main god's introduction calls it a flawed creation, to the labyrinth world a parasite, but to players a perfect meat-producing machine. A note warns that it is feared and attacked by labyrinth creatures, and that it dies easily in fire. I almost laugh aloud. Water becomes meat, daily, with no maintenance beyond keeping it alive. I love eating barbecue. I eat all kinds of meat: pork, beef, lamb, fish, kidneys. Only one vegetarian thing makes my list: roasted chives. I tell myself the good days of eating meat every day are about to begin. I tuck the god spawn into my pack. Then I open the wooden chest. 1 earth demon core, 1 energy stone, modest. I survey the rest of the room and find a sheepskin water bag with 2 liters of water inside, useful for watering the god spawn. The sun is setting. An hour of light is left. I prepare to enter the 14th room. The new prompts say the room ahead has poison gas plus a stone chest of low value. Not worth the risk. The left has a forest rat that wakes at night, and entering will be passive and likely fatal until the rat has rested again. The right is a swamp. Fall in and die. The upper is empty. The lower has a small pond with a water monster that will kill anyone trying to fish or fetch water. Rather than read these as danger, my mind goes straight to wondering whether forest rat meat is as delicious as bamboo rat, and I begin to drool. Plant the god's spawn on the rat. Wait until daylight when it sleeps. I summon the base and start a fire to cook. The more I think about it, the hungrier I get, and the food I make now is not tasty because I have no salt. My only seasoning is sesame oil. If I have nothing, I might as well call out for some, and I open the regional channel. I post that barbecue without flavor is too hard to eat and that I am looking for seasonings, and ask for a private message if anyone has any. The regional channel comes alive. Gangjun complains he is still hungry while I am complaining about flavor. Prince Crown laments that he has just choked down a few earthworms and now cannot stand to eat another bite because of my message. Lin Meng offers salt and asks to share the barbecue. I light a fire, cut and skewer the meat, and wait. The first private message comes from Ryu Hyung at level 3. One of the more capable people in our regional channel, and higher level than ordinary players. He calls me an outdoor survival expert. I tell him I am not, and ask if he has seasonings. He keeps insisting I am being modest and offers 50 grams of salt, 50 cumin, 50 chili powder, 50 MSG. I tell him I will take them and ask what he needs. He asks for the goblin meat I sold last time. 750 grams of the 1250 grams I have left. Traded. Done. The system confirms. He agrees instantly because seasonings cannot be eaten, and goblin meat at 750 grams is enough nutrition for him to survive for 2 or 3 days at his level, where his body is strained and food scarce. He does not care how the meat tastes. Having meat to eat is good enough. In this place, no one can afford to be picky. The seasonings come in small jars, no container needed, and I sprinkle them straight on the barbecue. He follows up by asking how I got my title. I know what he wants, to pry information out of me. I tell him just good luck, and that with good luck he could do it too. Then I ignore him, eat my barbecue and boil the orc's blood into a soup, which tastes like lamb soup. My whole abdomen seems to be on fire as I drink it. I stand and walk to the left door of the room. The prompt has changed. After the dark night, the forest rat will rest during the day, and that will be my opportunity. I should take the phantom beast with me to fight the rat, and to capture it alive, I will also need a dose of anesthetic powder. The egg on the incubator still has 10 hours. I wonder what Buja will look like and turn back to the anesthetic. The recipe still needs rhubarb. The auction has 15 portions for sale, with the seller asking 250 grams of any meat. I take the goblin meat option without a second thought. That sour-smelling stuff, the more I can offload the better. And the system gives me 15 rhubarb. 3 doses of fine-quality anesthetic powder come together. The recipe calls for 2 of each ingredient. My materials would support 6, but 3 is more than I need. Each dose, the description notes, requires a container of water and should not be diluted too far or it loses effect. It is not yet dawn, so I do not mix the powder yet. I open my backpack to clear out useless items for sale. Goblin meat at 250 grams and 5 orc meat have low utility for me. I will need demon cores and energy stones in great numbers in the future. The castle alone consumes hundreds. I list a final 250 grams of goblin meat for an energy stone on a first-come, first-served basis, and 20 portions of 250 grams of orc meat for any attribute demon core, advertising that even after the goblin meat sells out, the orc meat will still be there, and that its taste is better than goblin though still sour. The orc axe is not for me. I need a long-handled weapon and will use the axe for now while I list it for 10 demon cores or any equivalent long-handled weapon. The listing calls it an excellent grade weapon and a good helper for facing labyrinth monsters. The chat erupts again. Someone complains I sold 3,000 grams of meat already and now I'm complaining about taste. Another tells me I am the fiercest man in the world, even more than Putin. Another offers a useful shovel for the orc axe, claiming the trade is worth more than the price. Another asks if I am Korean to be this fierce. In the regional channel, Kyun Chol at level 2 laments that he is being chased by a hungry wolf with no weapon, while I sell fine-grade weapons, marveling at the gap between refugees and tycoon gods. Yusika says she would absolutely curry favor with me if she could meet me in person and become my woman. Jiwi tearfully complains that she just opened a wooden chest and got rice, but now I am selling goblin meat, which is making her unable to eat. The items are selling energy stones, fire magic cores, light magic cores, all flowing into my pack. As days roll on and players' exploration deepens, more items reach the market and prices stabilize. But for now, I am the supply line. The orc axe does not sell. Players capable of paying 10 magic cores at this stage almost do not exist. I added a clause inviting other items as substitutes, and many private messages roll in, mostly garbage. Daeyoon calls me his Korean countryman in mock Korean, telling me Koreans must unite and asking for the axe outright. I tell him in his dreams. Jack claims to be a US Special Forces soldier with an alloy shield designed to trade for the axe, but I already have an alloy shield. Ahmed offers a magic happy cup, which he insists has a great effect. I am not interested. Takata Kyoko begs that if I let her live to return to the real world, she will serve me well. I ignore her too. Then Ryong Hwang, level 4, offers a fine-grade spiked club for the orc axe, saying his club is too long for him and the axe will suit him better. For a player to reach level 4 without prompts is genuinely difficult. Ryong Hwang must have real ability. I ask him to send the spiked club's attributes. He sends them. Spiked club. Fine quality, blunt damage, partial armor ignore, with a special effect that the club tips have spikes that cause bleeding against lighter armor. The description boasts that with this club in hand, all the dogs on the street will be afraid of you. I see myself with shield in left, club in right. The image is fierce. I tell him the trade is on. He replies wishing happy cooperation. The system confirms the spiked club. I close the chat and sleep. The system pings me awake. The egg is hatching. 59 seconds. 58. 57. I roll out of bed like a carp and walk into the small room next to the bedroom. The egg is trembling on the bird's nest incubator, surface cracking. The phantom beast about to break out. My head is dazed at first, but clears as the cracking accelerates. 3 seconds. 2. 1. The system tells me I have obtained the divine blood tiger cub, a tiger species with divine bloodline that can continuously break through its own limits and evolve. A tiger paw stretches out of the egg, then the rest of the cub looking at the world curiously. It sees me, raises its head and tries to roar. Although a cub cannot really roar, what comes out is a kitten-soft cry. I murmur to it, lifting it up, and it rubs against my chest. Obedient. I am its master from now on. I tell it that as long as it follows me there will be meat to eat, and I cut pork strips into 50-gram pieces and feed it. Phantom beast cubs in the labyrinth do not need milk. They eat meat. I check its panel. Race divine blood tiger, pet type warrior, evolution level stage 1. Skill giant tiger strike, increasing physical attributes briefly and pouncing at extreme speed. For perfect warrior, the name field is unnamed. I name it Buja. From now on, I tell the cub, it is Buja. The cub, who has finished its first piece and wants another, has no idea I have given it a name unworthy of its bloodline. It eats a kilogram before it stops. I do not save the wild boar meat. I will have gods spawn meat soon. Buja is the size of a domestic cat, but much more solid. Stroking its body, I feel the muscle. It rolls onto its back, paws in the air, and I play with it. Day has not yet broken. I make a piece of bread, drink water, and the sky lightens. I walk toward the left door. The prompt has changed. The phantom beast I obtained is more powerful than I imagined. Combined with the anesthetic, catching a forest rat is easy. Mix the powder with water and apply it to Buja's claws. I take out a bowl, put the powder in, add water, and brush it onto Buja's claws. They are large for a cub and extremely sharp. I tell Buja not to lick its claws. Buja chirps an answer and nods as if it understands. We enter the room. The prompt instructs me how to bait the forest rat. Large burrows in the ground are its homes, and if I put my weapon and shield in my backpack and run along the burrow entrances, the rat will misjudge me as weak prey and rush out. The prompt warns me not to engage head-on. The rat is clever and will retreat into its burrow if it senses strength. The prompt tells me to start running now and not worry about my back because I have the perfect grade backpack protecting me. Buja, the little tiger on my shoulder, sniffs around and catches the rat's scent. I am worried about going into the room without a shield or weapon, but I follow the prompt and stash both in my backpack. Without the weight of those items, my body is light as a bird, and the perfect grade backpack feels like it has a small jet engine behind me giving me a boost. The next prompt confirms, keep running so the rat thinks I am weak prey, and when it chases, the little tiger will show its power. The prompt warns me not to underestimate the cub. It is fiercer than I think. I tell Buja to lie in the patch of grass over there and to bite the rat when it chases me. Buja chirps and raises its head. I smile in spite of myself. The cub's voice is hardly reassuring, but my goal is to capture the rat alive so the anesthetic can soak in. Buja lies in the grass and watches me. I think viciously to myself that tonight we eat forest rat meat, and I take off running. My footsteps crunch on the grass and leaves. First lap, nothing. Second lap, still nothing. Third lap, something is staring at me from behind, ready to strike. My intuition kicks in. Sweat runs down my back. My scalp tingles. I dare not look. Looking would slow me, and at my level my speed matches a marathon runner's, so I can run continuous high speed without exhaustion. Fourth lap. As I pass a tree hole next to a pine tree, a black shape blurs in the corner of my eye. Wind whips across my back, and burning pain travels along my spine. The system tells me my back has been wounded. The perfect grade backpack absorbs most of it. My health drops only 5%, and the elf friend ring's regen begins repairing me already. The rat, judging me weak and easy, charges. I curse silently, the burning pain making my mind crystal clear. I count down to 3, 2, 1, and the moment I reach the patch of grass I pivot, draw spiked club and shield in one motion, and prepare to hammer the rat into oblivion. But I do not need to. Buja roars, a true tiger roar this time, immense power packed into a cub-sized body. It leaps and slams into the rat, tiger arm striking with the giant tiger strike skill. The rat's skin tears under the claws, the strike's force throws it down, and it squeaks in pain and hurries into the nearest burrow. Before I can hit it, Buja wants to chase, but I stop it. Buja protests, angry that I was hurt. I tell it to wait for the anesthetic and then drag the rat out. We wait at the burrow entrance. 5 minutes. The elf friend ring's regen restores my health to full. The prompt confirms the anesthetic has taken effect. I tell Buja to go in and drag the rat out, patting its head. Buja answers and rushes in. About 10 minutes later, it comes back, dragging the rat by the neck. The rat is trembling, 5 extremely deep claw marks across its back, on the verge of death. I am glad it is not dead. The rat is the size of a small calf, gray-furred, with an extremely long tail. Plenty of meat. I move it into the field next to the cabbage patch. I have no knife on me, so I use Buja's claws to slice open the abdomen, and then I place the god spawn into the abdominal cavity. The system confirms the god spawn has been activated and is devouring the rat. The rat trembles violently, eyes bulging, and then dissolves entirely, body and all, into the god spawn. The spawn reappears in the form of a small tree, but the small tree is covered in black hair like the rat, and beneath the hair I can see what look like blood vessels twitching. The system tells me activation is complete, and that the meat the tree produces is now forest rat meat. The next system message warns me the god spawn is in extreme dehydration and that I must replenish water within 1 day, or it withers. I pour out the sheepskin bag, 2 liters from the orc, onto the field. The spawn drinks the water with an audible gulp. After drinking, the sapling grows into a tree over 1 meter tall. I add 1 liter more from my own water reserves. Round, fleshy fruits grow on the branches. The system confirms 1,000 grams of mature forest rat meat ready for harvest. I take down a fruit, the standard 1,000 gram portion. Buja smells it, eyes locked on the meat like a child. I cut off 500 grams for it, and Buja tears in. I think to myself that without the god spawn, I would not know how to raise this big tiger. I light a fire and grill the rest, cumin and seasonings releasing their fragrance into the air. The meat is firm with a great chew, a mix of rabbit and bamboo rat texture. I find it very good. The first bite is the warm taste of meat, then the explosion of seasoning. I have 1 skewer left and Buja stares with big craving eyes. I tell it can have a piece too and hand 1 over. Then I finish the rest. Meat alone is not a meal, so I make a few steamed buns from the system. I think to myself that it would be great if I had a grill in a kitchen. Cooking like this is a nuisance. I cannot always eat barbecue. Sometimes I need lighter food, and once the cabbage grows I will need a kitchen for stir-fry. I prepare to enter the next room. The prompts list a stone chest in the room ahead surrounded by corpse-eating sick dogs. Not recommended. The left full of poisonous thorns with red date-looking but toxic fruit. And since I am shirtless because the magician burned my shirt off, entering means death by poisoning. The right is lava and my fire resistance is too low. The upper passage is more than 5 meters off the ground. Below is a riddle wizard who may give me good things if I answer correctly, and severely punish if I do not. I have seen riddle wizards mentioned in earlier prompts but always tagged with danger. I open the World channel and search for the Riddle Wizard. There are many results. One player tells the channel he met a Riddle Wizard who promised good things for correct answers and severe punishment for wrong answers, and wishes himself luck. Another reports being cursed for an incorrect answer and now lying in a state of severe illness for 3 days, his head splitting, certain he is going to die. Another curses the wizard outright and demands to know who the creator god is supposed to be, complaining he was forced to answer or be burned by fireballs. Another describes barely answering correctly and being given a bottle of sewage to drink as the reward. The kindest one made a player kneel and beg the creator god's forgiveness. Most cannot answer. Punishments are usually discussed in curses. I think to myself that even when you answer correctly, the things given are not good, and that the wizard is stingy. I worry about what to do if I cannot answer. I stay outside the door and think slowly. The prompt lets me enter, which means the riddle wizard probably will not make things impossibly difficult and I should be able to answer. But I always carry a backup. I tell Booja, who is curled on my shoulder like a kitten, that if anything changes it should follow my command, and that I will wave my club as the signal. Booja replies sleepily. I add that after I wave the club, it should activate its skill and use its most violent attack. Booja answers with another small chirp. I take a long breath and open the door. A green grass corridor opens in front of me, with thorny fences blooming on both sides and the fragrance of flowers. The fences mean once a player enters, they cannot escape. They can only walk to the center. At the center sits an altar, and the riddle wizard stands above it. He intones at me, calling me a person once spurned by the creator god, and tells me to come forward, promising forgiveness for correct answers. He is about 1 7/10 meters tall, holding a magic wand, his face hidden under a black robe with only yellow pupils visible. His tone is gentle, like a real priest, but the prompts and other players' experiences tell me this is the surface only. He warns me that if I cannot answer his riddles, my crimes will be compounded, his voice shifting harsher. The next prompt tells me to get as close to him as possible. I walk up with shield and weapon and stop close to him. Booja stands up on my shoulder and watches him warily. The wizard remarks that I have a cute phantom beast and that I am a powerful player, and tells me that if I become a servant of the creator god, his god will surely have mercy on me and bestow me with strength. He sizes us up with surprise. I ask whether I can choose not to answer. He shakes his head. He tells me he represents the creator god and tests me, and that I can only answer. If I resist, he will deem me as despising the creator god's majesty and give an even more terrible punishment. I grip my shield and club tighter and act devout, telling him the creator god is truly amazing, and asking if we shall begin. The system confirms the riddle wizard's questions begin, and tells me to answer carefully. The wizard tells me with a sinister laugh that the questions will not be too difficult, that they are all related to the world created by the creator god, and that as long as my degree of exploration of the labyrinth world is high enough, I will be able to answer. He asks me which portable base out of 4 options is rare quality: a farmhouse, B manor, C castle, D town. His yellow pupils watch with a triumphant smile, certain I cannot answer. I think to myself that an average player would not be able to answer this. Their level of exploration is too low. They have not even solved the food problem, much less learned about a rare quality portable base. But I am different. I have studied the castle blueprint personally. The question is not difficult. I keep an extremely terrified expression on my face to make the wizard relax. He smiles even wider, calling me a heretic and asking whether I cannot answer, threatening to punish me if I cannot. He starts a countdown from 10. I feign panic and call out that I choose C, castle. He is stunned, then dismissive, telling me it was a guess and that next time I will not have such good luck, and that for disrespecting the creator god I will still be severely punished. The system confirms the correct answer and informs me I will receive a blessing, and that after the blessing the title Cowardly Man will change to Explorer of the World. The wizard raises his wand and chants strange incantations, cyan light pouring from the wand into me. I am overjoyed already, because I can see the title's effects. Explorer of the World, rare quality, normal effect being that experience gained is increased by half, and special effect being that I am more likely to gain the trust of neutral units. The 50% experience bonus is decent but not transformative for me, since the prompts already make my leveling extremely fast. The neutral units effect is the gem. It means fewer enemies and more friends going forward. Befriending a neutral unit is hard work. I had to risk my life to save Nicole, and that earned me only the bare minimum of friendship in the ring. With Explorer of the World, every sprite I meet will be a friend. Every labyrinth merchant might give me favorable terms. Every neutral encounter will tilt in my direction. The system pings. Title fully changed. The prompt fires again, telling me to use the alloy shield right now and bash the riddle wizard, and reminds me that solving the problem is one thing, but solving the person who created the problem is the real ending. It catches me off guard. The riddle wizard has killed countless players. I think to myself that I am only lucky I could answer the question, and that if I do not kill him, he will always be a threat in this room, Only by killing him will I truly be safe. I lift the alloy shield and, in the same instant, slam it into his head as he is just finishing his casting motion. The metal connects with bone, his head snaps, and his entire body flies 3 meters and lands motionless. The system confirms he is stunned. I tell myself to strike while he is down and bring the spiked club into his chest. His ribs shatter audibly. He is no semi-tank like an orc. He is a fragile mage, and the blow is fatal. He still has time for one curse, raising his staff with his last strength, calling me a heretic for ambushing a priest of the creator god, telling me I will become an enemy of all living things. I have no chance to interrupt his casting. But I have Buja. Buja leaps from my shoulder with a true tiger roar and tears the Riddle wizard's throat with sharp tiger claws. The system confirms the wizard's death, gives me a large amount of experience, and levels me from 6 to 8 in one go. I had only needed a sliver of experience to reach 7 from 6, but the kill rolled me through it. My physical stats jump again. The shield and club, which had been a hair uncomfortable at level 6, fit perfectly now. My combat power is sharper still. Buja, having burned its skill, lands back on my shoulder in a single jump. The previous version could not jump up in one go, and I read this as a sign of its rising combat power. It is small but already at the level of a real tiger, and as a divine blood tiger it will continue to evolve. I am not in a rush to decompose. I lower myself, pull open the wizard's robe, and find a lizard's face beneath. The system identifies him as a lizard man riddle wizard. I tell myself no wonder he was so disgusting and liked torturing human players, and tell the system to decompose. The system gives me a black cloak, 5 lizard man riddle wizard meat, 500 milliliters of lizard man riddle wizard blood, 2 earth demon cores, a riddle apocalypse volume 1, and 1 energy stone. I check the items one by one. The black cloak is common, useful as sun and scratch protection. The meat is hard and dry with slight toxicity, edible but barely. The blood is too toxic to drink. The riddle apocalypse is the gem. Excellent grade. Recording answers to some riddles, usable when meeting another riddle wizard, with more answers unlocked by killing more wizards and collecting more apocalypse. I think to myself with delight that solving the person who posed the problem can drop reference answers, and that if I encounter another riddle wizard, I can take this out, find the answer, ace the question, and then solve the person again. I leave the room and check the next set. The room ahead is a fire copper hell, certain death by fire. Behind has a hell 3-headed dog I cannot beat at my current strength. The left has an iron chest with good things. The right is a wooden chest of low value. The lower is empty. I pick the left, which is the safe and good option. The room is a stone-strewn ruin, and the iron chest sits behind a stone wall. The prompt assures me the wall will not collapse, and the chest is not a treasure chest monster. I open it. 2 water demon cores, an excellent tissue paper making machine blueprint, and 2 energy stones. The decent haul, but it is the tissue paper machine that really catches me. It solves a daily problem I have been nursing since I arrived, and the main god's commentary on the chrysanthemum being ravaged by leaves is something I do not need to live through. I learn it. The recipe is 10 wood, 2 iron ingots, 1 water demon core, 1 wind demon core, 1 fire magic core. I dismantle the iron chest in front of me into 3 iron ingots, and the materials are complete. The system gives me the machine, white fridge-sized, with a funnel feeding port up top and a tissue output below. 1 energy stone runs it for 30 days. 1 wood and 100 milliliters of water makes 20 sheets. I run 100 sheets immediately, with the toilet I built from Sunji's blueprint earlier. Recipe 5 stone. 1 water demon core, 1 wind demon core for an excellent blow-drying toilet. Occupying 1 living space using wind demon core to generate powerful wind energy, and water demon core for water, no filth or odor. I am set for life. The main god's description teases that when sitting on the toilet I would wish for a phone and Wi-Fi. I do not have those, but I have everything else. The 2 living spaces of the farmhouse courtyard are now full, tissue machine and toilet, which means I cannot install other magic items. I will need to upgrade the base again to gain more living space, I think, and I move on to the next room. The 18th room is one I enter for water. The next prompt confirms there is a clean water channel below, and some mature wild kiwi fruits growing beside it that I can pick. I am running low. The tissue machine eats 500 milliliters per 100 sheets. The god's spawn drinks a liter a day, and on top of that, there is daily drinking water and miscellaneous use. The 2 small magic fountains are simply not enough, so when I see water in the next room, I walk in. I take out my 3 500 milliliter bottles and the orc's 2-liter water bag and ladle the channel into them, then break them down into water that goes straight into the backpack. I repeat the work until the channel becomes murky and undrinkable, and then I stop. Water in the backpack does not need a container, but extracting it does. Otherwise it just pours onto the floor. I gain 13 liters total, which combined with the fountain output gives me several days of breathing room. The wild kiwi fruits beside the channel are rare. I pick every one. The system tags them one by one, and I do not feel guilty. Flour and rice can be found in chests, and meat comes off labyrinth creatures, but fruit and vegetables are scarce. I have walked through 18 rooms and seen fruit in only 2 of them, and seeds for vegetables only once. I cannot live on staples and meat alone. I need balance. The wild kiwi fruit is described as a Mame God variant, fist-sized, sweet and sour, very suitable for consumption. I crack an iron ingot from my pack into a small knife and peel one. The yellow-green flesh, the spread of juice, the sand sugar texture of the pulp, it is genuinely the best thing I have eaten today. I eat 6 in a row and stop. I have 26 left. I think to myself with regret that it would be great if these could be transplanted into my farm fields. But the vines cannot be transplanted. They can only be chopped down for wood or firewood. Without special items or skills, I cannot move plants from this room into the base. I do not cut down the vine. My stomach ties itself in, and I retreat into the farmhouse to sit on the toilet and let nature happen. Booja insists on following me even into the toilet, and I have to physically push it back outside before it gives up. In my old life, I would have been on my phone in the bathroom. Sometimes I would squat too long. My legs would go numb. I could not even stand up. Sitting on a toilet is a real luxury, but the time on the phone has just become time on the chat panel. The world channel is in standard chaos. Someone has lucked into an apple tree in his 7th room. Small green apples, sour, possibly inedible, and tells the chat he is hungry enough to eat them poison or not. And the next post wails with envy at his sour apples. Someone else asks how others are dealing with the toilet problem. He uses large leaves, but they are rough and his chrysanthemum is almost worn out. Another laughs that having large leaves is already pretty good, and tells the channel he uses wood and his chrysanthemum is ruined, full of wounds. 2 posts down, a third interjects that those 2 are already pooping and clearly have eaten, while he himself has not had a meal yet. In the regional channel, Jiwi vents that she is going to vomit, that she thought reaching level 4 would narrow the gap, that she checked my level and saw I was already 8. Kyungchul responds asking whether Jiwi is afraid of discouraging herself by checking on me, pointing out she only noticed my level and not my title change. From cowardly man to explorer of the world. Yusika supplies the punchline that this is not just awesome, it is like a heifer sitting on a plane. Awesome to the sky. Ryu Hyung admits goblin meat is no longer that hard to eat once you are hungry, claiming it tastes like stinky tofu and is delicious. Songgu mourns that I have already sold out of meat and wishes I would list more. I scroll only briefly. Players are sharing tips, telling each other not to be afraid of labyrinth creatures, and to take an iron shovel and rush up to fight, and to poke a chest with a stick twice before opening to check for a treasure chest monster. From my perspective, the advice is full of holes. Going in with a shovel is fine if the creature is a weakling goblin, but a quill-spiked wild boar, orc, or goblin magician will wipe out anyone who tries that. I respect the players ready to die for their tips and hope they will be men in their next lives too. I close the channel, take out tissue, finish my business, and prepare for the 19th room. The new prompts read, "The room ahead has carnivorous locusts and even soft armor will not save me. The room behind has extreme low humidity and no cold weather gear means I freeze. The right has a labyrinth sprite who can give me a luck blessing. The lower has yellow sand and dust that will lose me. A sprite in the right room. I look at the elf friend ring on my finger. Through it, I receive a blessing automatically. My Explorer of the World title also tilts neutral creatures favorably toward me. The combination should let me get something unexpected. I open the right door. The room is grassland in full bloom, small flowers in every color, and a sprite dancing above it on flapping wings. As the door opens, her flight path goes briefly chaotic, and she looks back, recovers, and her face lights up. She calls out to me as her human friend and asks whether I still remember her. She names herself as Nicole and flies toward me, her face full of smiles. I greet her and offer a kiwi fruit. She lights up and tells me I am such a good person before flying to it and grabbing it with both hands. She is small and not strong, but she has something like a backpack, and the kiwi fruit disappears as soon as it enters her hands. She tells me her mother and her tribesmen warned her not to approach humans, that humans are very cunning and only a little better than goblins, but that I am different and a friend. She adds that I have received the recognition of the creator god, who is the father god of the sprite goddess, which makes me a friend of all sprites. Then she warns me that there is a very black-hearted labyrinth merchant in the room ahead, and tells me not to buy items in his shop, because the loss is huge. I capture the warning and ask whether he attacks people. She tells me he sells things at 2 or 3 times the price the sprite race does, but that he will not actively attack anyone. The next prompt fires, telling me to go to the labyrinth merchant and take a look since I might gain something unexpected. I smile to myself. He can scam others, but he cannot scam me, and I will go buy something from him later. Nicole urges me to be careful. We talk for a long time and I get a great deal of background information about the labyrinth world from her. She tells me the room layouts shift periodically, that intelligent labyrinth creatures like her have a kind of positioning sense and can find their tribes no matter where they are, and that the labyrinth has gods. The main god, called the creator god by the natives, sits at the top, with subordinate gods like the Sprite goddess beneath him. She tells me there are many strange neutral creatures, and that sprites and labyrinth merchants are both neutral. The riddle wizard remains mysterious even to her. I tell her I have to go, since there is not much daylight left, and working after dark is bad. She looks disappointed and asks to bless me before I leave. She has more she wants to say, but no time. White spiritual light shoots from her into me. Lucky blessing, increasing the rewards I get from killing labyrinth creatures, opening chests, and completing missions for the next 24 hours. She wishes me a safe journey and watches me leave. I wave back and step into the labyrinth merchant's room. The next prompt confirms. Entering this room, I will see a labyrinth merchant with many useful items, but the merchant is exceptionally black-hearted and Mark's price is extremely high. Buying directly will cost me, but if I conduct a lucky draw instead of buying directly, I might gain something. The prompt warns me, just like dealing with the main god, I cannot be soft-hearted with a black-hearted merchant. The room is a small oasis in the desert. In the center, a poplar forest grows with green grass at its base, and a ground dragon covered in green scales is quietly chewing it. On the dragon's back are many items. Beside the dragon sits a middle-aged man. Black sleeveless vest, red cape, a great sword pinning the cape down, a bronze beard ringing his face, bronze-colored skin, hair tied up. The system identifies him as the labyrinth merchant Gabriel. He greets me and introduces himself, telling me he is a labyrinth merchant with many powerful items and inviting me to purchase. He calls me the first labyrinth adventurer he has met and a person with a title from the main god, and he promises me a 50% discount. He smiles at me, already calculating in his head how much he should charge. The merchant's logic plays out exactly as Nicole said. As a wandering merchant who hits and runs, he will not see most of his customers a second time. The labyrinth is complex, and just meeting him once is luck enough. If I were unlucky enough to meet him again, he would happily rip me off again. His conscience is robust. A merchant's duty is to make money, his face says, and he has spotted a fat one in front of him. The equipment I carry is excellent quality. The backpack I have on is perfect. I smell of sweat and roasted meat. On my shoulder is a phantom beast pet tiger, and players who can afford to feed a tiger at this stage are few. Phantom beasts, even cubs, eat a lot of meat. Buja is currently lazing on my shoulder, clearly full. Gabriel reads me as a nouveau riche who should still have a lot of meat for trading. He has met other adventurers before, but they were poor, starting only with iron shovels. And he ripped them off for the shovels themselves, since shovels can be broken down into iron ingots. He has sworn silently to rip me down to my underwear. I feign curiosity and ask him what he has. He smiles obsequiously and starts unloading items from the dragon onto the ground in front of me. A sharp greatsword, excellent quality, an extremely sharp greatsword that breaks through labyrinth creature scales. 10 demon cores or energy stones. A special leather shield, excellent quality, very lightweight, with a block skill that puts attacking enemies into a stiff state. 15 demon cores. A rocket belt, perfect quality, a belt with energy stone powered flight. 50 demon cores. A spicy hot pot base, excellent quality, water activated, said to make the eater think of home. 15 demon cores. A super magic cup, excellent quality, advertised as freeing the hands and providing realistic texture and suitable weight. 20 demon cores. Gabriel is convinced I will buy. He thinks the nouveau riche will spend money to buy and will be ripped off fiercely. His items are at 3 times normal price. The rocket belt's actual material cost is just a few fire and wind cores. The rest of the excellent weapons cost only 1 or 2 demon cores each to make. He has set out the food items to confirm I am a foodie and will jump for the hot pot base and the magic cup to assume I am a man and one who has not had release in days. He believes he has me read. He has me read very poorly. The prompts append to every item the actual normal price. Sharp greatsword 2 demon cores, special leather shield, 3, rocket belt, 20, spicy hot pot base 1, super magic cup 2. I want to laugh in his face but I hold it in. I want to rip off the Ripper and slaughter Gabriel, but now is not the time to fall out with him. I tell him his goods are very good, but I cannot afford the prices, and I ask whether he has any lucky draw type items with random attributes. I tell him I think my luck is not bad, and I would like to try a draw, since I might draw a divine artifact. I follow the prompt and ask him to run a draw. His eyes change for a moment, and after a pause, the corner of his mouth curls into a smile. He tells me that is even better, that he likes adventurers like me the most, and that I must have been kissed by the goddess of luck because my luck is off the charts. He pulls countless clay pots from the earth-walking dragon and lays them out in front of me. As he sets them up, he steals glances at me, thinking that if I do not get anything and lose everything, I should not blame him. He is exploiting a loophole. He has not told me what the probability of getting items from the pots is, how many types are inside, or whether there are any good items inside. The artifacts I mentioned are not actually in the pile. He plans to induce me, trigger my gambling addiction, make me lose myself, turn me into a degenerate gambler. Gamblers lose everything. The plan is for me to get good items at first, then enter a gambling state, then his luck will quietly turn, and I will spend all my magic cores and energy stones. And then he will induce me to sell my equipment, give me a little sweetness again, repeat the cycle, and finally, when I have nothing else, induce me to sell Buja, the divine blood tiger, a creature he can resell for serious profit. He sets up 10 pots, the trap stage. He hands me an iron hammer and tells me to smash the pot I choose. He tells me the first pot is free, that after that every pot is 1 demon core of any attribute, or 1 energy stone if I do not have a core. He puts the hammer in my hand and waits. The prompt fires telling me the leftmost and the 5th pot are empty, and the rest are above 1 demon core in average value. I keep a smile from breaking out and pick up the hammer. I tell him I will start, and I smash the rightmost pot first. The system pings. Fire grenade blueprint, rare grade. The blueprint produces a grenade made by human craftsmen using pine resin, energy stones, and demon cores, which detonates 10 seconds after the pin is pulled and deals fire damage in a 10-meter radius. I draw a sharp breath and smile faintly. A useful item, a real combat power increase. If I encounter enemies I cannot beat normally, I can throw one and unleash righteous fire on them. Gabriel tells me to keep opening and that I can pay later. He is, in his read, watching me already on the hook. The strategy of destroying someone, he reasons, requires first making them crazy. I sneer at him and tell him the boss is generous, and that I will continue. I am happy about the item but calm immediately. The prompt has told me 8 of the 10 contain good things. An 80% winning rate is impossible, and the abnormality is the trap. I see his game. He is not generous. He is luring me onto a path of no return. To destroy a person, you let them gain benefits from their mistakes. If it were anyone else, Gabriel would succeed, but I have the prompt. I keep the excited smile on my face, and inside stay perfectly calm. I pick up the hammer and smash from right to left, opening all 10 pots, including the 2 empty ones. The prompt has explained, if I open only the pots with items and skip the empty ones, Gabriel will become suspicious, and I have to cast a long line to catch a big fish. Turn the hunter into the prey. The system pings. Special leather shield, rare grade. Spicy strip gift pack, rare grade. Flour, 500 grams, common. Yahaha mineral water, 1 liter, common. Another canned cola, 300 milliliters. Hot pot base, rare grade. The other 7 pots were genuinely good. Spicy strips, cola, and hot pot base are food luxuries that will improve my life dramatically. While other players are eating dirt, I will be gnawing strips, drinking cola, and eating hot pot. The special leather shield's block skill needs huge proficiency to be reliable. The shield itself is small and weak in short durability. I want to stay alive, and that means a tank-style build, not a parry-style one. The leather shield is not steady. Flour and water are bonuses. Gabriel eyes me and asks whether I want to open 10 more. He hands out 9 demon cores and 5 energy stones to my listing. I traded them to him since the first pot was free. I tell him of course I want to open them, and that for 5 energy stones I want 5 more. He tells me all right, his eyes rolling as he sets out 10 more pots. These 10 will not give me too many benefits. They will lead me to destruction. The next prompt. Among these 10, 3 are empty and 2 have items of extremely low value. Open the leftmost, the 3rd from the left, the 4th, the 7th, and the 9th. This is the key. The prompt warns me not to get lost, since the one who gets lost is Gabriel, and that the hunter is about to enter the trap he set himself. I cannot beat Gabriel, and he has a powerful earth dragon behind him. I cannot let him flip the table. I tell him with a laugh that I must have been kissed by the goddess of luck, and start opening. Gabriel sneers internally, telling himself I have not been kissed, that everything is calculated by him, and that he is the one kissed by the goddess of luck, that it was luck that let him meet me, this big idiot. My hammer rings out. This time, my luck does not appear to hold. The system pings. Kitchen blueprint rare. Enhanced pet food rare. Interference transmitter blueprint perfect grade. Maze minimap rare. Yehaha mineral water 1 liter. The kitchen blueprint is exactly what I want. A kitchen at the cost of 1 living space, with a slight aroma boost on meals, and a description that says people who know how to enjoy life have a good kitchen. I am a foodie. I cannot rely on the system's flavorless cooking forever. It is better to rely on oneself than on others. I will craft the kitchen later. I open the enhanced pet food and Buja stares with wide eyes, whimpering. He is hungry. He is still a cub. The pet food is rich in nutrients, can replace normal food for pets, and on first use strengthens the pet by 10% strength. The description quotes the main god's belief that humans can also eat pet food but get no boost. I tear open the bag and put it down. Booja celebrates and rushes over. The system confirms Booja's strength is up 10%. The maze mini-map can scout a small radius of rooms once and is, for someone with prompts, mostly redundant. The most important item is the perfect grade interference transmitter blueprint. I read its attributes. Immunity against mental magic attacks from creatures below level 20. 50% reduction against mental attacks from levels 20 to 30, and an active option to fully immune one mental attack from levels 30 to 40 before automatic decomposition. A perfect grade item is an early game artifact. A player with one is operating at a level above what their other stats permit. My perfect grade backpack has already let me catch a forest rat and absorb a fatal blow at 5% damage with a movement bonus on top. The interference transmitter will let me slaughter mental type monsters below level 20. I will craft the item shortly. The materials will be expensive, but Gabriel is the one paying for them. I tell Gabriel I want to keep opening jars. He is stunned for a moment. He is still in his own dream and has not registered what I've actually opened. He asks me, slightly dazed, whether I really want to open more. By the script, I should be suffering small losses, my expression slowly sliding toward ferocity as I pawn assets. He walks over to the broken pots and looks. He nearly faints, a chill rising up his spine. He realizes my luck is too good. His heart bleeds. 9 demon cores and 5 energy stones from me. The items I have opened are far above that in real value. He is in heavy loss. He had calculated that opening all 10 pots would put me in a small loss by now, not this. His face goes stiff and slightly ferocious. He asks me, breathing a little fast, why I have only opened 5 jars and tells me to keep opening. I lie smoothly, telling him I have already opened 5 good items and feel like there are no good items left in the rest, and that I would rather switch to new jars. His face hardens, and he says fine, bringing out 10 new jars. He cannot keep losing money. He is a labyrinth merchant, and losing money is shameful. He has very few excellent items left. He tells me, calling me brother, that there were not many good items in his previous jars, and that they were mostly refined grade trash. He says he will add some good items now, but it will lower my chances of winning when opening, and tells me if I do not mind I should keep opening. I tell him I have good luck, and the success rate does not matter. He answers that fine, and steals himself, pulling out his own perfect grade item and putting it into the jar. I sell 2 liters of water on the auction to acquire 10 more demon cores, since the lucky blessing makes the timing right. The next prompt, among these 10 jars, only the 5th from the left has a good item. The rest are empty or worthless. The prompt tells me to open that jar and that Gabriel is about to go crazy. I do not just open the good one, I knock on the middle 3 in a row, because if Gabriel goes from crazy to desperate he might stop the game entirely. The system pings, empty, super magic cup, empty. I shake my head and tell him I got 2 empty ones and only a useless magic cup, and ask whether I really need that thing. I tell him to change the jars because the batch is no good and that he needs to bring out good stuff. Gabriel's relief at the empty jars cools and he says I have so many demands, but he changes them. The next prompt, the only refined grade item left in Gabriel's shop is that sword, and it is in the leftmost jar of this batch, but I cannot open that one. The prompt tells me to open 3 jars at random to let Gabriel make a small profit, and that the perfect grade item will come after. I knock 3 random jars. Nothing. Gabriel relaxes and tells himself my luck has run out, a smug smile climbing his face. I tell him to change the jars again. He says sure with confidence, and swaps the batch. This time he really puts the perfect grade rocket belt in. The next prompt, the rocket belt is in the 3rd from the right. The rest are empty. The prompt warns me I cannot just pick the rocket belt jar and that I must open empty ones too, so as not to let him flip the table. I sell more water, and combined with the cores I have, I pull the trigger and open all the jars in one go. I shout that I do not believe there is nothing good. Gabriel's face changes. He had thought I would only open 2 or 3. The system pings the perfect grade rocket belt. Just as Gabriel is calculating whether to stop me, the belt is in my hand. The rocket belt is perfect quality, increasing my backpack slots by 10, and adding waist defense equivalent to wearing light armor. Adding 1 energy stone allows continuous flight for 10 minutes. The description teases that the main god thinks I might want to experience the feeling of having my butt on fire and flying into the sky. I take the belt, do not equip it, and turn and walk straight out. I call back over my shoulder to thank him and tell him I am out of demon cores, so I will stop here for today. I step into an empty room. The prompt urges me to leave this room immediately because once Gabriel calms down, he will use violent means to make me cough up the items. Gabriel stands stunned for a long moment, staring at his empty stock, then curses my name aloud, calling me a bastard. He wishes he could kill me. My title increases neutral NPC affinity, but NPCs can also flip the table. He has made a heavy loss for the first time in his career. This is more painful for him than being cuckolded. He glares in the direction I left, his face flushed red, gnashing his teeth. He wants to chase, but by the time he opens the door I will already be gone, and the labyrinth is hard to search. The next room is grassland with weeds and bugs. I tell myself that was truly thrilling, and that a moment later the black-hearted merchant Gabriel would have flipped the table. I sit on the grass. The breeze cools the sweat off my overheated body. I strap the silver alloy rocket belt around my waist. It is light and not bulky. The system tells me the rocket belt is equipped, that it lacks energy and can only provide basic effects, and that flight is not yet possible. The system asks me to add an energy stone. I have none on me right now, and no demon cores either. The lottery cleared me out. I have to sell items to refill. I think to myself that earlier, to save time, I sold 3 liters of water and that I cannot sell more. If I sell more water, the god spawn will lack water and will not produce meat, and Buja and I also need to drink. There are special situations where I might need water, so I have to keep it. I open my new haul. Lizardman Riddle Wizard Meat times 5, Blood 500 milliliters, Riddle Apocalypse Volume 1, Special Leather Shield, Flour 500 grams, Yaha Mineral Water 1 liter times 2, Spicy Strip Gift Pack, 300 milliliters Canned Cola times 2, Spicy Hot Pot Base, Labyrinth Small Map, Super Magic Cup, Rocket Belt. The blueprints I learned, Fire Grenade, Kitchen, Interference Emitter, are absorbed and not in the list. Among the new items, the Lizardman Meat, the Special Leather Shield, and the Magic Cup can be sold. Everything else I need. The cola is the source of happiness. In the real world, I could not live without 1 bottle a day, and in the labyrinth losing it had been a low background grief. The hot pot base is another source of happiness. I have no kitchen yet and the system's grilled meat is bland. With the base, sliced meat in a hot pot will be incredible. The spicy strips carry childhood memories from a time when 1 pack lasted me all day. Modern factory spicy strips have all gone sweet, and these are the kind I actually liked. I tell myself there is no rush to put an energy stone in the rocket belt, and that I should eat first. I take out the stone pot I made earlier, light a fire, and start cooking hot pot. The wild boar meat is gone, so I water the god spawn with 3 liters and let it grow 3 kilograms of forest rat meat. Buja's pet food is gone, but it stares down 2 more kilograms of my meat before it stops. Buja's strength is rising, and so is its appetite. I think to myself that if I did not have the god's spawn, I really would not know how to support this 4-legged gold-devouring beast. The water boils, the red base melts in, the air fills with fragrance. I drop the sliced forest rat meat into the pot piece by piece. Cooked, it is heavenly. In my few days here, I have had many surprises, but eating with my pet brings the most joy. Buja rubs against my shoulder and licks my face. Its tongue has small barbs, but as a cub, the barbs are not yet hard. The licking itches. I drop meat into a bowl for it and put it on the side. Buja settles down happily. I add a large plate of meat for it, not stingy. I scroll chat while I eat, telling myself life could not be better than this. The World Channel. Players cursing themselves for trying to catch sprites and being cursed instead. Others scolding them for thinking sprites would not retaliate. Others begging me to come back and sell water and meat. Others wondering aloud what I am eating right now and whether it is roasted meat or bread or rice. Others telling them to stop talking or they cannot choke down their earthworms and bugs. I pull the tab on the cola and drain 300 milliliters in a few mouthfuls. My mouth fills with bubbles. My body feels like it is floating. Life could not be better than this. I scroll to the regional channel. B.A. Young groans that he just opened a chest and met an SM Labyrinth merchant Gabriel, who is really ruthless and traded all his belongings for junk. Ganghan tells him to find a toilet to cry in. Yu Moon adds that he met Gabriel too, and that Gabriel is so red-eyed with anxiety now, asking everyone where I am, calling me a dragon that only shows its head. Sanjian reports that Gabriel is asking him too, and asks the channel what I did to make an NPC look for me like he is crazy. Yusika replies that no one knows, and that none of them understand the world of that man. The World Channel is its usual chaos. The regional is in high spirits, all of them discussing me and Gabriel is hunting me without finding me. He never will, in this labyrinth. I am full. Buja is on the ground with its bloated belly, legs in the air, eyes squinting. The hot pot base description tells me it is excellent quality, makes food taste better, reusable but with each use the flavor degrades, and the main god notes the final taste is unknown. I will not boil it twice. It would not taste good, and it is not healthy. I am about to pour it away when I catch myself and realize I forgot something. Although I am not short of food and do not like reused base, it is different for other players. Even used hot pot base is delicious in their eyes. Any ordinary food put in becomes delicious. This pot of soup can still be sold. I listed on the auction, diluted with water. 8 portions of 200 milliliters each, 2 demon cores or 2 energy stones per portion. I do not list the entire pot in one shot. Diluting gives me more cores per liter. The chat channel detonates again. The world channel marvels that I am selling stuff again. That I am selling hot pot soup base that has been boiled once while they are eating dirt. That the gap between people is huge. That someone who thought he was a cut above for getting some meat has been given a reality check. That no mortal can stand shoulder to shoulder with a god. And that they should stop dreaming, stop drinking, and eat more peanuts. Someone notes the listing comes with the empty cola can and calls me too stylish. In the regional, Jiwei begs to hug my thigh just for a bit. Nickel remains convinced I must be a Korean ancient martial arts grandmaster. Jiyu and Sunbyung puzzle out that the labyrinth merchant must have been scammed by me. Hanmeng calls me the man she likes and approves of striking against a black-hearted merchant. Calling me a little cow sitting on a rocket. Awesome to the sky. I smile. I had wanted to keep the merchant business private, but it has leaked, which I find boring. The hot pot base sells slower than meat. It is a luxury item, requiring strength and surplus, and few players are at that level yet, but it sells. I am not in a rush. Meanwhile, I add an energy stone to the rocket belt, and the system charges it. 10 minutes of flight time, mind controllable. I lift off. The 8 direction jets whisper and I rise. My choices have just multiplied. High passages I previously could not reach, and rooms like poison swamps where I could not move on the ground are now options. I had suffered from this a few times and missed many good things. Not anymore. The flight feels wonderful, but I do not stay up. 1 stone is only 10 minutes, and I have to save those minutes for critical moments. Night falls. I sleep in the base. In the morning I water the god's spawn and feed Buja its meat. Buja chirps satisfaction as it eats, and I eat steamed buns myself. The cabbage in the base is growing. In 3 days it will be ready. By morning the hot pot soup base is all sold. 2 earth demon cores, 2 water demon cores, 2 fire magic cores, 2 energy stones. Not bad. I do not rush to the next room. I open the labyrinth minimap. The minimap is poor as a tool, only a small area view, useless past the radius, but I should use it while I have it. The map marks 5 stone chests, 3 wooden, 1 iron, 1 bronze in the nearby area. It also marks resource points, water pools, forests, coal mines, and labyrinth creatures, though the creature marks are imprecise because creatures move. The map says my current room should have an antlered beastman, but the room is empty grass. The antlered beastman has finished its grass and moved on. Treasure chests do not move, however, and I can still go for them. I pick the bronze chest first. Last time the bronze chest gave me rare grade items thanks to the treasure raider rules. Without those rules, this bronze chest may be ordinary. I am still curious. The next prompts read, the room ahead has an antlered beastman with a big knife and a stone chest beside it. With Buja, I can take it down, and this is the fastest route to the bronze chest. The left has a group of throwing goblins and a wooden chest. Defeating them needs some means, but rewards are highest. The slow route. The right is empty and the path ahead is hard. The upper has poisonous wasps and is not worth it. The below is empty and is the safest route. 3 options. Fastest, most rewards, safest. I pick the most rewards, the left. The next prompt updates that group of throwing goblins is large, even with a shield up at the front. The back will still take stones. The prompt tells me to use the rocket belt to fly up where the stones cannot hit, then throw the grenade of justice, which is what my prompts call the fire grenade. I have learned the blueprint and am missing only materials. The recipe is 1 fire magic core, 1 energy stone, 1 iron sheet, 50 milliliters of pine resin. I have the cores and stones. Iron sheets I get from breaking down the iron-plated shield. 2 sheets came back. Pine resin I do not have, but the auction has a Haas's listing. 200 milliliters of pine resin for 200 milliliters of water. The price is low. I buy. I craft 2 grenades. The prompt says I only need 1, but a backup is wise. The system gives me 2 fire grenades. I tell Buja to hold tight to my hand on my shoulder so it does not fall off, and Buja chirps as if it does not care. I open the door gently into the throwing goblin room. The prompt warns me not to alert them. The hinges barely whisper. The room is a forest road in green grass, with wooden barrels arranged along the side. The smell of alcohol fills the air. The goblins are dead drunk, slumped beside the barrels. A single throwing goblin is not strong. Any quick player can take 1, but goblins always come in groups, and there are 8 here. If I attack 1, I will alert the others, and the swarm will finish me. I have to climb. The next prompt tells me not to throw the grenade right away, because I will waste both grenades and not kill them all. I need to gather them first, so the grenade catches as many as possible. The prompt directs me to the goblin in front, and tells me to get close and kill it with the spiked club. I calm my breathing and step close to the nearest one. Slowly, the goblin suddenly raises a dirty hand to pick its nose. I freeze with my left leg in the air, ready to set down. After a few kicks, it turns over and goes back to sleep. I exhale silently. I keep walking until the goblin is in club range. The goblin opens its eyes, complaining of the heat and reaching for the leather water bag at its waist, then sees my face and calls out an enemy alarm to the others, telling them to wake up and throw stones. I curse silently and slam the club into its head. The head flattens, dead as dead can be. The other goblins instantly wake, eyes bulging at their dead comrade, and yell that they will avenge their fallen brother. They grab stones from baskets and hurl them at me. I tell myself to launch and raise the alloy shield while the rocket belt fires. My body rises slowly. Stones the size of steamed buns hit the shield, and the rebound is huge. My horizontal position drifts back, but vertical lift is unaffected. The goblins shrill that they cannot hit me and rush underneath me. Even the shield cannot block volleys from below. I store the shield and the climb speeds up. A few more meters and I am out of stone range, but a stone hits my calf as I rise. Slow at this height, the kinetic energy is mostly spent. My health drops by about 1%, and the calf goes red, but my combat is unaffected. The prompt tells me not to go too high and to maintain this altitude. My instinct is to climb out of range, but if I do, the goblins will scatter and I will have to lure them again. I keep just at the limit where the stones reach but lose all force on impact. The goblins, finding they can hit, plant themselves and throw without moving. I think to myself with a righteous smile that they can throw all they want, and I pull the fire grenade. I kiss the grenade, then pull the pin. The next prompt warns me to wait 5 seconds, or the goblins will see it falling and run. The system counts down 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. I think to myself for them to eat this and release. The grenade accelerates downward. The goblins are oblivious, thinking it is a stone. One goblin says the stone seems a bit different, watching the black thing land beside them. Another bolts, shouting that it is a magic grenade and to run, and the grenade detonates. A flame fountain consumes 7 goblins gathered together. Shrapnel within 10 meters peppers the ground. Wooden barrels are pierced. I am untouched. The flames burn on the corpses. Buja makes a frightened sound against my ear. I tell it not to be afraid and stroke its head. A grenade invincible in the early stages. I find the wooden chest in the bushes. The system pings. 2 dark magic cores, 1 silver ingot. Just 2 items in a wooden chest. I wonder whether my luck is that bad, and check the silver ingot. The description says it is perfect grade and that it can be used to design high-end magic items. Perfect grade. I will be able to use it later. I store and walk to the corpses. The goblins are charred half-cooked. The system asks whether to decompose. I decompose and gain 19 pieces of carbonized goblin meat, 27 throwing stones, 7 energy stones. The fire grenade reduces drop quality. No goblin blood, no water bags from belts. Items that should have come are gone. The carbonized goblin meat description warns that goblin meat is already unpalatable, and after being cooked like this is even worse. Throwing stones, the description says, can be thrown at opponents and have miraculous effects in some special situations. I move to the goblin I killed personally with the club and decompose him. 5 goblin meat, 500 milliliters of goblin blood, 1 energy stone, 1 small water bag, 1 wind demon core. The personal kill drops more. The system gives no experience for grenade kills, but does for the club kill. Otherwise, 7 goblin throwers would have leveled me already. The grenade is a shortcut. The game balances by reducing items and skipping experience. Fair. The next prompt comes warning me not to be in such a hurry to leave, and tells me to pay attention to the wine barrels because not every one is empty. When the grenade exploded, shrapnel pierced every barrel. Nothing flowed out, so they seem empty, but the prompt says good things, so I check. I lift each barrel and feel the weight. One is unusual, heavier. I open the lid carefully and the pungent aroma of strawberry wine washes over me. I feel refreshed, relaxed, pulled toward it. About a liter of pink fruit wine remains. The system labels it wild strawberry wine. Excellent grade. Replaces water. Drinking 100 milliliters within an hour gives a 30% strength buff for 60 minutes. The description tells me it is low alcohol and tastes like wild strawberries, but in volume induces drunkenness. I take out a bowl, pour some, and drink. The sweet of strawberry, the alcoholic warmth, sweeter than a strawberry beverage, and exciting. The system credits me 1.1 liters of wild strawberry wine total. I gather all barrels, including undamaged empties, into my pack. They will hold liquids later. The next prompt, continue forward. There is a stone chest in that room, the highest reward path to the bronze chest. The left has a minotaur and I would be gored before I could lift off. The right is empty. The upper is full of traps. The lower has archer goblins who would shoot me into a hedgehog before I cleared range. I take the small map and walk forward. The room is forest, no goblins, a stone chest in the middle of the path. The prompt fires a warning that this is a treasure chest monster, and I step back. My heart is beating. If the prompt had been later, the monster would have bitten my hand. The next prompt tells me to take the spiked club, walk to the back, and smash hard. I move quietly. I tell Buja that when it transforms it should exert full strength. Buja nods. I store the alloy shield in the backpack. Two-hand the spiked club, raise it overhead, and bring it down on the chest. The chest startles, sprouts long limbs, and transforms its body into a fanged maw. While it is rising, I bring the club down again on its leg joints. The chest collapses face down. Buja explodes off my shoulder with a giant tiger strike, and a single tiger claw severs the body in two. The system confirms the kill and pings me from level 8 to level 9. The system asks whether to decompose. Not yet. I lift its mouth and reach inside to obtain a radish seed. The radish seed plants on farmland and grows large white radishes in 5 days. Getting a seed from a stone chest is good luck. Other players' tip lore says stone chests give only food, water, or pitiful core. I decompose the treasure chest monster and gain 3 stones, 2 upper limb meats, 2 lower limb meats, 1 energy stone. The next prompt. Continue ahead. Man-eating sunflowers grow during the day. If I go in during the day, I become fertilizer. This is the highest reward path to the bronze chest. The right is empty, the left has explosive bugs that will shred me. The upper has a wooden chest, but the rooms beyond are all extreme danger. The lower is foul water. I tell myself I do not move during the day. If I move at night, the sunflowers will not detect me. I stop and take out the spicy strip gift pack. Dragon brand spicy strips, spicy dadao meat. I tear open the dadao meat, inhale the long-lost fragrance, take a bite, my whole mouth filling with spicy and numbing. A sip of cola, refreshing, does not begin to cover it. Buja extends a paw and steals my second piece, dropping it in the dirt and devouring it on the floor. I tell it that as expected of a beast, it does not understand hygiene. I will not eat the dirty piece, but Buja is not picky, and other players in the chat are eating worse. I scroll while eating. The World Channel relays a player tied to a goblin spit and being roasted, and helpful neighbors telling him to bite his tongue and end it. Another tells everyone they are not me and should retreat from labyrinth monsters. The regional channel, Ryu Hyung, pings my level 9 to the room. Jashin marvels at how the gap with me only grows. The player using the handle Shrek notes Jiwi is now 5 levels behind me. The regional channel has dropped from 1,000 to 683 after a few days. Whether the missing died forever or went elsewhere, no one knows. The cola is empty. The strips are nearly empty too. Buja eats much of the gift pack with me. I take a barrel of strawberry wine and drink a bowl. I feel my whole body fill with strength. Suddenly, the left door opens and 2 players step in. One is telling the other that the leaves are actually not bad, a bit unpleasant, leaving a bitter taste, but his stomach does not hurt at all and the feeling of being full is great. He is a young man with a dragon tattoo on his arm and the face of a hoodlum, named Musung. The other, Hee Hyung-ki, smiles and tells him of course they are not bad, that he has studied herbalism and that leaves with this kind of pattern are non-toxic and contain a trace amount of starch, and can replenish energy. They are starving and unlucky. After several rooms they have only found a tiny bit of food. Musang is grateful. Without Hyung-ki he would have starved. As he reaches for another leaf, the breeze carries the smell of spicy strips into his nose. He tells Hyung-ki he wants to eat spicy strips. The leaves taste like wax. Hyung-ki sets his leaves down and asks Musang whether he smelled them too, then crushes a small flowering plant with his foot, irritated. He wonders aloud how there can be a smell of spicy strips in the woods, and whether someone in this room has them. They follow the scent and find me, watching as I pick up the last 2 pieces of dadeo meat, one in my mouth, one in Buja's. The discarded packaging is everywhere around me. Their eyes go red. Under normal conditions, they would have raised shovels and started a fight, but I am Jiho, the explorer of the world, level 9, and they recognize me. Everyone in the labyrinth knows I am invincible, selling water while others die of thirst, eating hot pot while others can't find a meal, killing labyrinth creatures while others run from them. The chat speculates that I am a wilderness master, a special forces soldier, a martial arts grandmaster. I greet them, telling them players are rare. I take a tissue, wipe the spicy oil off my hands, and toss it. Musang curses internally at how extravagant a discarded tissue is in the labyrinth, where wood and leaves are the alternatives. He thinks soaking the tissue in water and eating it would taste better than the leaves, and is already thinking of licking the red oil off the empty packets after I leave. Hyung-ki pulls Musang along and addresses me, telling me what a pleasure it is to meet me, calling himself my fan, telling me he has demon cores and asking whether I take them since they want to trade for food. I look at him. In the real world, I would have stayed away from a hoodlum like this. Here, I no longer care. I tell them to open the trading system, since I happen to have some goblin meat. Hyung-ki pulls Musang closer to me, asking with all the curiosity he can muster whether the goblin meat is the same kind I sold last time, and asking whether we could trade for a different kind of meat since that one tastes too bad. He tells me they are my fans and that in their eyes I am like a god. Musang does not know why Hyung-ki is closing the gap. but he sees a ruthless glint and stops asking, watching with concern. Hyung-ki had once told him he was a big deal in the old streets, that those who followed him called him 9 Blades because he had used a blade to hack 9 people for his boss. He likes danger. As long as Musung follows him, life will be good. Musung wonders whether murder and robbery can really work, looking at me. Hyung-ki sizes me up. He concludes I am just an ordinary person who got a bit lucky, and tells himself the idiots blowing smoke about me are truly hilarious, that he will slay a god today. He convinces himself. Outwardly calm, inwardly insane with greed, the sight of the fat orange cat on my shoulder being fed spicy strips drives him. He tells himself that once he has dealt with me, he will skin the cat too. He thinks he is acting well, even pulling out a fire magic core to trade as a prop. He has hacked people before for his boss without being caught, because he is, by his own assessment, a good actor. The prompt fires telling me to beware of these two. I cannot stop a smile. If he is selling something, why is he getting so close? Their eyes are full of bad intentions. When things are abnormal, there must be something fishy. With my arms crossed, I wonder how they can be so bold. Musang is level 2, Hyung-ki level 3. I am level 9. My physical fitness terrifying. Strength, speed, reaction, even skin toughness, all far above an ordinary person's. With my bare hands, I could take down a crowd. My health bar capacity has gone from 1 segment at the start to 3. The bar length is the same, but my actual health is 3 times higher than before. Are they blind? Or do they have some trump card? Both possible. I prefer safe. The alloy shield and spiked club can come out of my backpack at any moment. If they make a move on me, I will not be polite. I do not need to kill players for resources, but if players come looking for death, I will not hold back. Letting them approach is part of the trap. They cannot escape if I let them get close enough. A third voice asks from behind whether the smell of spicy strips is a hallucination. Hyung-ki turns. Another player has entered. He is stunned and curses internally that someone could come in at this moment. The madness in him cannot be suppressed. He yanks a white-edged long saber from his backpack and roars at me, calling me trash and threatening to slaughter me today. Years of street fighting tell him this is the moment. The new entrant has my attention split, and a single strike on the unaware target ends it. He boasts to himself that his fine-grade long saber can cut me in two. His face is ferocious, his eyes filled with violence, all his strength behind the blade. With a saber in hand, he believes he can sever everything, even a god. The alloy shield blocks the saber. The metal-on-metal collision sends massive force back through his hands. Not flesh, not bone. I have my alloy shield and spiked club out already. The block leaves a long cut down the shield. I tell him with disdain that the saber is good and no wonder he dared lay a hand on me. I do not take Hyung-ki seriously, but the saber is excellent. Hyung-ki shouts at Musang to hurry up and help. He has no martial honor. First ambushing, then calling backup. He was a street thug. Where would he get morals? I tell him with a sneer that calling for help when he cannot win is rich, and ask whether he even has the chance. I hold the shield in my left hand and the spiked club in my right. With the full strength of a level 9 player, I drive the club into him. The sound of countless bones breaking rolls out, and he flies 3 meters and hits the ground, the saber tumbling beside him. His health bar is a sliver. He gasps at Musang to hurry up and attack. He has fractures everywhere but one straw of hope. If Musang attacks now, my second strike will be delayed. Enough time for Musang's shovel to take my head. Musang shouts that he is going to kill me, pulling out his shovel with both hands and slashing diagonally at my neck. Buja is on my shoulder, looking at Musang with extreme contempt. Buja activates Giant Tiger Strike, claws flashing through the air. Musang's chest rips open across the breastbone, a huge wound, blood spraying. He stares at Buja in shock. He had thought it a fat orange cat. His health empties. He drops dead. The system pings. Musang killed. Items obtained. Iron shovel, unknown leaf, some experience. Not much. I look at Hyung-ki, who is begging now. He wheezes that I am actually this strong, that he should be united. He says he is a son of a bitch and slow-witted. Otherwise, he would not have been brain-dead enough to trouble me, and asks me to look at how stupid he is and let him go. I do not bother. I walk forward and bring the club into his face. I tell him that admitting mistakes and correcting them makes for a good boy, that the labyrinth is not for him, that I will help him escape this sea of suffering, that he should not make the same mistake in his next life and should be a decent person. The system pings. Hyung-ki killed. Items obtained. Iron shovel, bread times 2. Fire magic core, light magic core, snake gallbladder, tang saber, some experience. The kills net me a lot of experience, just short of leveling. The third player has just entered the room. He calls out telling me he is just passing by, that he happened to be eating a melon and is not with the other two. He is Ryu Hyung, level 3, who I traded with before. He is a middle-aged thin man, no spare meat on him. My fierce aura nearly makes him pee. He genuinely fears I will finish him along with the other two. He tells himself the two dead idiots are stupid for not reading the chat, that I am the god of the game world, that attacking me is suicide. He sees the look of me as if a demon-subduing lord is descended from heaven, a true god of calamity among men. The pet on my shoulder looks like a cat but is actually a tiger, and he understands now why I keep it. My exploration is at a level ordinary players cannot imagine. I look at my experience bar and consider taking him out for the level up, but I am not a maniac killer, and the loot on a player is never as good as what I already have. The phrase that he does not know how much money I have, but that it is definitely more than his fits this. I tell him to leave the room quickly if he has nothing else. He nods rapidly and walks out the lower door. I tell myself he is quite lucky, and that the room below is just foul water. The corpses of Hyunki and Musang turn to dust and dissipate. The game system cleans player corpses automatically. Labyrinth creature corpses decompose normally, but players do not stay. I tell myself that killing those two had its benefits and that the Tang saber is not bad, and I take it out. Men love wielding swords and sabers. The blade is a work of art with mysterious patterns, and I fall in love at first sight. The spiked club is good, but compared to the Tang saber it is uglier and weaker. The system describes the Tang saber as fine-grade with a normal effect of being extremely sharp and impressive armor-piercing among fine-grade weapons, and a special effect that if forged with wedgestone its quality upgrades to perfect grade. The description tells me the blade has been tempered 1,000 times and is excellent, but the blacksmith lacked wedgestone, and finding wedgestone would let the blade undergo a qualitative change. A good blade. The base attributes are strong, and it can be upgraded. I shield and saber, sliding the spiked club into my backpack. There is some daylight left and I drill the new combination, sweat soaking my shirt. After a while I eat a bread, set the alloy shield and Tang saber aside, and prepare for the next room. It is dark already. The next prompt tells me that in the dark, the man-eating sunflowers sleep, and that as long as I do not wake them, they will not attack, and that with my stronger weapon I can gain more in the next room. I open the door carefully and follow the prompt. As I move silently, I do not know that the news of my killing two players is already spreading across the regional channel. In the regional channel, Jisung notes the survivor count has dropped by 2. Gangjun says it is normal and hopes those two return to the real world after death. Lu Shuo reports the latest news that the two were taken out by me. Ryu Hyung confirms it because he saw the drama firsthand and was lucky I am a good person. Otherwise, he would have been in trouble. Telling the channel that Musang and Hyunki, those two idiots, actually dared to ambush me, that they were like moths to a flame. He adds that I have a pet on top of the title. Yusika asks what kind, cat or dog, and Hu-kun guesses something more powerful, a companion that helps players survive. Wang Sheng marvels that in only a few days my exploration has gone way too strong, that I am truly a god in the game. The news quickly leaks to the world channel, where it bloats. The saber I held becomes 40 meters long, my pet becomes 3 stories high, I become idol material with players asking to have my babies, and a man claiming to be from the US International Immigration Office formally invites me to join the United States as a rare talent. The regional channel has accurate information. The world channel inflates everything. The truth is my saber is a fine-grade Tang saber, the kind whose body resembles a sword, with one sharpened edge that becomes sharp at the tip for stabbing. Japan's Tachi evolved from this design. The next prompt is sharp, warning me to be careful and not to disturb the man-eating sunflower. I open the door to the room and immediately see one bud retracting, then aiming at the doorway. The trick is insidious. The moment a player walks in, the sunflower swallows them and the player dies without ever knowing how. I have prompts and I am cautious. Buja chirps loudly just as I am preparing to back out of attack range, and the bud blooms instantly, sharp teeth and a crimson tongue lunging. I curse Buja silently for the loud cry, drawing the Tang saber and slashing at the sunflower's base where the stem is thinnest. The blade severs it instantly. Even without its roots, the sunflower lunges at me, mouth wide. I get the alloy shield up. The teeth bite down on the alloy face and leave a row of marks. Then a foul acidic stench rises, and a layer of the shield's surface dissolves. The system tells me the alloy shield's durability has dropped. I look at the corroded shield with regret, and pat Buja's head, telling it not to cry out again at random and screw over its master. Buja nods obediently. The system pings. Sunflower killed. Level up from 9 to 10. The system follows up with a graduation message. I have successfully passed the novice period, and the enemies I encounter next will become stronger. Please continue to grow and survive. I look at the dead sunflower with lingering fear. Fragile in body, but the most dangerous thing I have faced. It can launch an attack even after death, and a live one going all out would have hurt me badly. The level up should be a happy occasion since my stats jump again, but the warning that enemies will become stronger kills the mood. I tell myself I quite like weakling enemies and that I have to be cautious from now on and listen more to the special hints. The system asks if I want to decompose the sunflower. I do. 500 grams of mature sunflower seeds, 500 grams of sunflower oil, and 1 energy stone. Plant, so no meat. The seeds and the oil are exactly what I need. The 50 grams of sesame oil are gone and I cannot brush oil on barbecue without it. The sunflower seeds are excellent quality and can be eaten directly or processed. Continuous consumption increases physical stats. With a blueprint, I could even change the flavor with seasonings. I eat 1 seed. Original flavor, not bad. The next prompt tells me not to be in a hurry to leave and to pay attention to the roots of the sunflower. I shovel and find something faintly glowing in the soil, a wedge stone fragment. The description names it as a fragment containing mysterious magical energy, incredibly sturdy and usable to forge weapons. Exactly what I need to upgrade the Tang Saber. With a blacksmith, I can lift it from excellent to perfect. My 3rd perfect grade piece of equipment. I keep digging. No more fragments, but the soil itself is unusual. The fertile black soil description tells me man-eating sunflowers swallow living creatures, while nourishing the soil, and that using this for transplanting raises survival rate. Black soil is good. Putting it in the backpack does not count toward weight. I dig until the system says I am digging up ordinary soil. The room has only 1 sunflower facing the door. The rest is grass and trees. I am a pack rat, but I am not stupid enough to carry turf. The next prompts, the room ahead has minotaurs and I become their food. The left has a mind-confusing monster in an iron chest. An interference emitter makes me immune to its mental attacks, and this is the highest reward path. The right has Gabriel hunting me everywhere. The upper has a stone chest guarded by 3 goblin magicians and I will be seriously injured. The lower has lost little imps, which my rocket belt can cheese. I do not detour. The labyrinth is getting harder, and I need more equipment. I check the interference emitter recipe. 1 silver ingot, 3 light magic cores, 3 dark magic cores, 5 energy stones. The system gives me a perfect grade silver ring device. The interference emitter is perfect grade, with a common effect granting immunity against mental magic attacks from creatures below level 20, a special effect reducing the effects of mental attacks from levels 20 to 30 by half, and another special effect that lets me actively immune 1 mental attack from levels 30 to 40 before the device automatically decomposes. I have 2 rings now. Ordinary players have nothing to their names. I am a tycoon. I open the door to the left. The first thing I hear is fighting and screaming and houses collapsing. The mind-confusing monster might be more powerful than I imagined. I push the door wider carefully. Red flames burn in the forest. Goblin tents catch fire one by one, and a group of goblins with crimson eyes are fighting each other with stones, wooden clubs, and stone axes. They are vicious, ignoring kinship. Stones smash into the heads of their kin. Clubs aim at foreheads. Stone axes sever arms in a single strike. Goblins die one by one. Beside them, a creature in tattered gray rags, humanoid, holding a lantern, head full of octopus tentacles, watches the slaughter. Sensing me enter, it does not turn, but the thing inside its lantern turns over, not flame. An upright crimson eyeball covered in parasite-like blood vessels, the pupil filled with terrifying darkness. The system tells me I have immunized myself against the mind-confusing monster's mind-confusing effect. I glance through the grass and the prompt explains, the monster itself does not have strong combat power, but the mind-confusing eye it holds is extremely terrifying. It does not need to see the enemy. As long as the enemy sees the eye, the enemy loses sanity. The lower the enemy's level, the stronger the effect. These weak goblins are slaves to the eye. The prompt tells me to wait here, that watching goblins kill each other is boring, but better than a group rushing up to beat me. I had been considering whether to creep up and slash the monster. After the prompt, I dismissed the thought. The monster, unaware of an enemy, admires its masterpiece. The goblins drop one by one. There were over 20 in total, throwers and warriors. Encountering them alone, I would have flown out with the rocket belt. With one fire grenade, I could not have killed them all. The monster controls them effortlessly. Having control skills is just different. The prompt tells me I can move now. I have Booja hide behind my back and grip my backpack tightly so it cannot be controlled by the eye. After the goblins are all dead, the monster holds the lantern in one hand and grabs a goblin corpse with the other, attaching its head tentacles to the body. The corpse shrivels rapidly as the monster feeds. While it eats, the eye monitors. The eye rotates in a pattern. When it has a blind spot, I move forward. Fast. I am almost in slash range when a burning tent suddenly collapses. The huge noise alerts the monster. The eye breaks pattern and fixes on me. The monster shouts. The eye stares fixedly and even uses a skill. Black light shooting out and bathing me. I feel as if a bucket of 100-degree boiling water has been poured over me. The system pings that I am immune to the mind-confusing effect. The interference emitter dispels mental control, but the black light contains acid corrosion as well, and my health drops 30%, my skin burning. There is no patch of good skin left on my front. Everything is charred black. The prompt warns me to speed up and not stay. Its second attack is coming. I curse silently, activate the rocket belt, store the shield, and my speed jumps. The eye reveals a mocking expression, mocking me for overestimating my capabilities. Black light is gathering for a second cast. As a mage, the monster keeps distance and outputs safely. It thinks it has me. Booja, eyes closed, leaps from my shoulder with a roar. Closed eyes mean it cannot be controlled, and its sharp claws have locked the lantern through scent. Booja swipes, the eye fills with fear. If Booja does not look at it, it cannot control. The interrupt comes, the lantern's glass cover shatters, the blood vessels in the eye burst, the blacklight skill is interrupted mid-cast, and Booja's claws tear the eyeball into fragments. The monster screams. Without the eye, it is just a blind creature, and even with terrifying tentacles it cannot escape. I roar and two-hand the Tang Saber, channel my level 10 physical fitness, and the saber shatters tentacles and severs the monster's head. But it is not over. From the severed head, an octopus-like creature crawls out, the true body which parasitizes hosts. Without the eye, it cannot see and scurries blindly to my feet. I stomp it. Done. The system pings. Kill above level. Large experience. Level 10 to 11. Just shy of 12. The monster gave me as much experience as a goblin magician. I tell the system to decompose. The system gives 10 mind-confusing octopus tentacles, 1 mind-confusing core, 500 milliliters of mind-confusing monster's blue blood, 2 energy stones. The tentacles are excellent quality, no different from octopus tentacles, 200 grams each, plump. The main god's note saying they taste especially good grilled, full of seafood flavor. I have been eating forest rat for days. Tentacles will diversify my diet. The mind-confusing core is perfect quality and can be used to craft equipment that emits mental attacks. The core is shaped like the eye, mysterious, precious. The blood is excellent quality and consuming it can increase magic resistance. My 30% loss to the black light means my magic resistance is too low. The blood will help. The goblin corpses on the ground belong to me, but they cannot be eaten. The system labels them as poison-filled goblin corpses. The mind-confusing monster's mental attack causes the energy stones inside the labyrinth creatures to violently release energy and form toxin, and only the monster can eat such meat. The energy stones inside are gone too. I leave the bodies and look for the iron chest. I find it in a tent that did not catch fire. The system flags it as unusual. An extra-large iron treasure chest, designed by the main god, containing more rewards, the main god's lucky favor to the player. I wait for the prompt that confirms it is not a treasure chest monster and has no danger before I open. 30 copper ore, 30 iron ore, 5 silver ingots, 2 wedge stone fragments, a fine-grade farm blueprint. I do not dismantle the extra-large chest. With 100 slots, it holds many things. The farm blueprint is the prize. The build requires a normal-grade portable base, 4,000 wall bricks, 500 soil, 300 stone, 100 wood, 10 iron ingots, 5 copper ingots, 3 earth demon cores, 3 fire demon cores, 3 wind demon cores, 3 water demon cores, and 3 light magic cores. The farm is fine quality, granting +7 living space, +10 farmland, +1 special area, with a special effect that the growth speed of all agricultural products in the farm increases by half. The description tells me opening the farm proves I am a player without worries about food and clothing, but that this is appearance only, and even greater dangers await. I learn it. Upgrading is necessary. The farmhouse courtyard has only 2 living spaces, currently full with the tissue machine and the toilet. No room for a kitchen. I am tired of grilled meat. After the upgrade, crops grow half again as fast. Radishes, cabbage, eventually chives, which I love because I love them, and possibly because all men do. I will collect vegetable seeds whenever I can. For materials, I am missing iron ingots and copper ingots, but I just opened many ores so I can synthesize. I am short a few earth, fire, wind, water, light cores. I can collect them. The wall bricks, soil, stone, and wood are too high in volume to keep around. I do not store low-value materials, but the auction has them in bulk. Conveniently, I can also unload surplus from my pack, the lizard man riddle wizard meat, the special leather shield, the spiked club, the super magic cup, the carbonized goblin meat, the goblin blood. I do not need them. I list everything. I list the special leather shield, fine grade, at 10 cores or stones, calling it worth more than the price. I list the spiked club, fine grade, at 12 cores or stones, telling buyers a good shield deserves a good weapon. Several days into the labyrinth, players have explored further and started finding supplies. Water and food prices are slipping. Cores and stones are appreciating. Top quality equipment is still scarce. I list the spiked club next. Compared to armor, weapons hold value better and are more wanted. I have had many private messages asking if I have weapons for sale. With only a shield, players are too passive. Weapons let them fight back. and with luck, they eat meat. I list the super magic cup at 10 cores or stones. The description shameless, the kind of thing only an aphrodisiac cursed customer wants. But its niche is real, and there will be takers. I list 250 grams of lizard man meat at 200 wall bricks per portion, 20 portions, calling the lizard man the most disgusting creature I have killed, and inviting everyone to eat. The lizard man meat is foul-smelling and slightly poisonous, but it is meat, and players who can survive 5 days definitely have some food, but not necessarily enough. Many eat a normal meal at most, twice a day. The rest live on guanyin clay, leaves, and earthworms, and a few have nothing. 200 bricks for meat is a steal. The chat channel detonates instantly. Players spam that I have appeared again, calling me the only true god, willing to trade wall bricks for my meat, begging me to list more. They marvel that the listings are gone within seconds, asking me to kill another lizard man, noting that my equipment is so good and that I sell fine-grade weapons casually. They ask why I do not keep the magic cup for myself to vent my terrifying energy, and others answer that a man like me would not deceive himself with a magic cup and must have a group of women following me. Others beg me to give my weapon and shield to them because they have encountered tricky enemies. The lizard man meat sells out very fast. Meat is easy to sell. The chat continues to spam how awesome I am, selling weapons, killing a lizard man riddle wizard. Many players have died at the wizard's hands. The wizard treats players the way a hunter treats weak prey. Lucky players answer correctly and live. In the early game, unless luck is heaven-defying, answering wrong is a dead end. Many players die. Some are subjected to harsh punishment. The simplest is kneeling and begging, but most are terrible curses. Hunger curse, which strengthens digestion and triggers food madness like drug withdrawal. Curse of misfortune, which raises the probability of meeting terrifying creatures in the next room. Death curse, weakness, and more. I killed the wizard and avenged them. I do not know it. I am focused on the unsold spiked club, special leather shield, and magic cup. I list more. Carbonized goblin meat at 250 grams for 100 soil, 5 portions, telling buyers I think the meat tastes bad, and inviting them to try it. Soil has barely any value. 100 units is worth 250 grams of meat. Players note that I am rich since soil is everywhere, and a couple of shovelfuls would give me what I need. Another corrects them, saying I think it is better to go to the next room and kill monsters than to waste time on soil, since my time is precious. Someone else has the lowest plateau and wants the meat. The first batch is gone instantly. I list more. 500 grams for 30 stone, 10 portions. Sells in a minute. More. 250 grams for 10 wood, 10 portions. Sells instantly because wood is easier than stone. The farm materials are now collected, but junk remains. I list 500 grams of carbonized meat for any elemental magic core or 1 energy stone, or a special item. 22 portions, 300 grams of goblin meat at 1 core or stone or special item. 16 portions. 250 milliliters of goblin blood at 1 core or stone or special item. 2 portions, telling buyers to try the meat. As game time progresses, my early game items depreciate. The sooner I unload, the better. Other players see this differently. They ask whether I am a savior sent by God and marvel that everything can be traded for meat. They note that most of what I sell is goblin meat and joke that the goblins were wiped out by me, calling me a goblin slayer. Some beg with crying noises that they want to come along and eat meat. The world channel is pure chaos. In the regional, my channel is calmer. Ryu Hyung wonders why I'm collecting so many bricks and whether I am going to use them to hit people. Jiwi reports she has finally leveled up but is still 5 levels behind, and admits she really wants the special leather shield. Gangjun does not want the shield, he wants the big club. Sun Go asks if anyone else is thinking about enjoying life with the magic cup. The player using the handle Shrek points out I am collecting building materials and that I must be building something. The direction of speculation is about right. They cannot guess what, and the channel wonders why anyone would hoard bricks, soil, and wood when those are everywhere. My intentions are hard to read, exactly as I want. Meanwhile, I begin upgrading the base. Materials count up. Wall bricks 4,000 to 4,000. Soil 500. Stone 300. Wood 100. Iron ingot 10. Copper ingot 5. 3 of each demon core. The system tells me the farmhouse is upgrading to farm and that 5 hours remain until the upgrade is complete, and to please wait patiently. The base cannot be used while upgrading, so I have already taken the Holy Spirit fruit, the wild strawberry wine, and meat for Buja into my pack in advance. I will not waste 5 hours. I can explore the next room. The next prompts. The room ahead is a swamp of poisonous mosquitoes. Without insect repellent or protective gear, I die poisoned. The left has a stone chest with little inside, and a terrible trap. The right is a clean pond with a giant piranha hidden under water plants. If I can kill the piranha, I can even bathe. This is the highest reward path. The upper has a riddle wizard and nothing else. The lower is sand. I take the right room. As long as I do not approach the pond's edge, the piranha is not a threat. I think of pomfret, white-fleshed, no bones. Excellent. I tell myself if I can kill it, I can eat fish meat, drink white soup, and bathe, and that I must kill it. I walk in. The room is forest with a small pond in the middle, about the size of a family bathroom. Water about a meter deep. Many stones underneath where the piranha hides. I cannot get close. If it rushes out, I have no chance to fight back. Then how? The prompt suggests I take out the fire grenade and blast the fish. I take a grenade. This is a method I used as a kid with cheap firecrackers. One blast, a patch of fish floats up. The prompt continues, telling me not to be in a hurry and to lure the piranha out first. The piranha rushes out at the smell of blood. I take a piece of unsold goblin meat and walk slowly toward the pond. Soft mud beneath my feet. The pond was likely larger and shrank over time. The piranha is the strongest survivor. As I approach, the water remains still. I think to myself that this tiny piranha actually knows how to be patient. I throw the goblin meat at the edge. A minute. Nothing. 3 minutes. Blood seeps from beside the meat. 5 minutes. The bottom of the pond becomes murky. 10 minutes. The murk deepens. 13. The water churns and the piranha lunges. I smile and toss the grenade. 10 seconds later, the pond detonates. Dirty water, grass, silt blasting out. The water is murky and a piranha over 2 feet long floats on the surface, tail twitching, not yet dead. I think to myself that the piranha has tenacious vitality, leap into the murky water, and finish it with the tang saber. The system confirms the kill, gives me a large amount of experience, and I level from 11 to 12. At level 12, a 4th segment appears in my health bar. My HP is now 4 times my initial amount, plus the boar blood bonus, so slightly more. Average players still have 1 segment. My HP is 3 times theirs. Level grants me invisible attributes too. Elemental, magic, physical resistances. My strength jumps again. The system lets me salvage 5 piranha meat, 500 grams of piranha blood, 1 secret treasure called the Monster Illustration Book, 1 energy stone. Piranha blood is unique only in that it can be used to attract creatures that feed on blood. The illustration book is the prize. The Monster Illustration Book is common quality. Its common effect is that every time I kill a type of labyrinth creature, all information about that monster is recorded in the book. Its special effect is that when I have collected 10 species, the book can be upgraded to rare, and I will receive a special reward. The book confirms that I currently have 10 species collected. Treasure chest monster, goblin magician, quill-spiked wild boar, orc, riddle wizard, forest rat, throwing goblin, man-eating sunflower, mind-confusing monster, piranha, and that this is sufficient for upgrade. The description tells me the item could not be digested after being swallowed by a piranha and is very precious. The book's leather is so tough piranha digestive juices could not break it down. The leather alone is a treasure. I open it. Treasure chest monster danger level depends on quality. Weakness, appearance identical to a normal chest. Attacking the chest with a weapon before opening makes it reveal itself, which a normal chest will not do. Description names the main god's design. Goblin Magician, Danger 10. Weakness, Squishy Mage afraid of close quarters attacks that prevent chanting. Description teases that even goblins can become mages, so study hard. Quill-spiked Wild Boar, Danger 9. Weakness cannot be fought head-on, ranged weapons or armor-piercing weapons. Description praises the meat, blood, and quills. The book gives every weakness I would have wanted. For an average player, it would be a divine artifact, a ready-made strategy guide. For me, who rarely meets the same monster twice and runs ahead of the average player by far, it is mostly retrospective, but it grants me the upgrade. The system pings. The book is now rare. I received the title Monster Hunter. The Monster Hunter title is rare quality, with a common effect of plus 5% damage against labyrinth creatures, a special effect that salvage drops increased by 10%, and a description telling me that since I have killed 10 types, the main god thinks I am not noobish anymore. I switch from Explorer of the World to Monster Hunter. Explorer is for NPCs and remains the right choice when meeting them. Monster Hunter is for normal use against creatures. The damage boost is not huge but real. The salvage boost is icing. More meat. I noticed that lately I need more food to feel full, eating over 2 pounds of meat a day. Without the god spawn, I might starve. I put the book away. The pond is murky. The prompt notes I can use this water for the god spawn since the murky water is not poisonous. I take an empty wine barrel and fill it. When the pond has enough water for me and Booja to bathe, I stop drawing and wait an hour for the murk to settle. I have not bathed in days. My body stinks even where I cannot smell it. My skin is patchy with dirt. My face is primitive, my whole body is greasy. The water clears and I jump in. Cool water washes over me. I feel my whole self come alive. Even a full body massage would not trade for this. Booja, despite cat stereotype, swims naturally. I grab and scrub it. It resists, but it has no choice. While I am enjoying the bath, a private message comes. Jiwi, level 5. As a beautiful, high-leveled, capable player, she has many fans. I usually do not reply to such messages. There are plenty of beauties in my private inbox. Today I am in a good mood. She asks me what I am doing and whether I have time. I tell her I have time and that I am taking a bath. She is stunned. In the labyrinth, water and food are the most precious basic resources. Even with a few days of exploration, most players drink only a mouthful a day. She knows I am rich on water, but bathing is still extravagance. Even she, a clean and pretty fairy, has not been able to bathe. She is incredibly shocked. And on second thought, she tells herself there is no reason I should not bathe. She figures I am very likely the strongest player in the labyrinth world, and that I enjoy the privileges of the strong. As long as I can defeat creatures and seize treasure, my living conditions naturally are better. She notes my level has reached 12, even faster than she imagined. She feels a gap. She was proud and hoped to catch up. Not only is my level higher, my leveling speed is faster too. The experience required from 4 to 5 is far less than from 11 to 12. At my pace, she cannot catch up. She notes my title has changed. Used to be Cowardly Man, now Monster Hunter. Jiwi has been in the labyrinth for many days and still does not have a title. She had assumed titles were easy. She tells herself that if I can get one, so can she, but she has not seen a shadow of one. She is drifting and worries that catching up is exhausting. I prod her, telling her if she has nothing to say I am closing private messages. She snaps out of it. She decides she will not give in. Falling behind in the early stage does not mean she is behind in the late. She sets a small goal for now and aims to achieve it. She tells me she wants to trade, her jar containing excellent treasure for my special leather shield. The shield is not great defensive but particularly suited for agile builds. Block and counter rather than tanking head-on. I tell her to let me see what the jar is. The description tells me the jar containing excellent treasure is excellent quality, that the jar can only be opened in 10 hours, with a special effective guaranteeing an excellent grade of equipment, and a description that says the jar specifies a certain grade of equipment and that the main god thinks I will like it. The leather shield has not been selling. I take her offer with adjustment, telling her to add 3 more cores or stones. Excellent items are worth at least a few cores, so this protects me from a lemon trade. She agrees and tells me it is a deal. I take the shield down and the trade goes through. Jiwi knows I am not the simp type and does not soften. That is reasonable, since she does not respect simps. I store the jar and wash my clothes while bathing, then set up a torch to dry them. Several hours pass. The system pings. Portable base upgrade complete. I summon. The huge farm appears. The farm is excellent quality, with a common effect of +7 living space, +10 fields, +1 special area, a special effect of +half growth speed for agriculture, and a description that says opening the farm proves I am already a player who does not have to worry about food or clothing, but greater dangers await. The farm is enclosed by brick walls. Pushing the wooden gate, I see a special area paved with stones. The area allows me to build special foundations, such as entertainment venues, magic circles, and arrow towers. The portable base is invincible in the early stages, a sanctuary, but the late game may turn that around. The special area is a metaphor for the need to upgrade defenses. Players without strong bases will fall. I tell myself I have to become stronger. Otherwise, who knows what will happen later. The fields, 10 of them, have radishes, cabbages, and the god spawn growing. The half-speed boost makes the cabbages mature faster, and the system pings. Cabbage times 100. Cabbage is common quality, good tasting, very refreshing. In the real world, the phrase cheap as cabbage exists for a reason. In the labyrinth, normal players cannot get a few full meals and would be over the moon at fresh cabbage. I show only a slight smile. I water the god spawn with the new pond water and the tree drinks greedily, producing endless forest rat meat. Booja points at it asking. I tell it that as a feline it should prefer fish, patting its head and tell it I will make cabbage and fish soup in a bit. Booja nods. I start the kitchen build. Recipe small amounts of stone and iron. 2 fire cores, 2 wind cores, 2 light cores. I have it all and the kitchen is up immediately. Beside the bedroom. The bedroom itself is bigger now, the bed larger and nicer. I lie back with limbs spread and shout that this is good. This satisfaction is one I have never felt. Even multiple months of New Year bonus did not feel this good. Achievement. I am a cut above. Booja makes hungry sounds. I get up and tell it I will take it to make fish soup. I take out the piranha meat and start cooking. While the soup stews, I think about how to get magic circle and arrow tower blueprints. I will not convert the special area into entertainment yet. The castle later will have the entertainment, and I plan to invite female players to a naked party there for fun. I search the auction. No magic circles, no arrow towers for sale. I consider posting a buy request, but holding such a request would tell the world the value of magic circles and arrow towers and prices would jump. Not worth it. Although I am rich, doing big things requires thinking through. The little tiger, smelling fish, has rushed over to the iron pot, paws extended. I tell Buja not to grab the meat because it is very hot. I underestimate the divine blood tiger's fire resistance. 100 degrees may be hot for a human. For the divine blood tiger, it is nothing. The fish is fragrant, sweet, beautifully textured. The cub is in heaven, reaching for more. I tell it not to rush and to let the fish cook longer, grabbing the scruff. Buja stops moving. Soon I scoop fish soup and large chunks of meat into a bowl and put it in front of it. Buja devours. The bowl I prepared is extra large, dog bowl style. Otherwise it would be gone in a moment. I take a bowl for myself. The soup is clear and sweet, the fat lingering. The soup goes fast. I scoop more, but I have not eaten much fish meat. Buja prefers the meat. By the time Buja is bulging bellied and lying on its back, satisfied I have not even started the meat properly. 4 kilograms total. Buja has eaten 2.5. I eat the rest. The stronger one becomes, the more one can eat. Poor for literature, rich for martial arts. Poor people study because they cannot afford food. And martial arts without nutrition wrecks the body for nothing. After eating, I sleep. In the morning the system pings. The jar containing fine treasures can now be opened. The thrill of opening a lucky jar is among the most universal human emotions. I tell the system to open. The jar shakes violently, pottery peeling away in pieces, equipment names scrolling, sharp greatsword, snowblade Didao, leather armor, and my emotions push to the limit. I plead silently for a top-tier piece. The jar shatters cleanly. The system pings, fine quality weapon, sniper crossbow. The sniper crossbow is fine quality, with a normal effect that bolt range is increased by half, and a special effect of bolt trajectory correction within 100 meters, so the trajectory is a straight line. The description tells me the crossbow increases bolt speed enough that within a certain distance no parabola needs to be calculated, simplifying use and increasing accuracy, with a note that if strength requirements are not met, the crossbow cannot be used. I hold a crossbow with an optical sight. Something etched in my DNA ignites. What boy does not love an 8x scope? I pull the string and find it heavy. Without level 12 and the Goblin secret drug strength bonus, I would not have been able. An average player could not use this. The strength requirement is too high. For me, it is a divine artifact. A normal crossbow would have me missing because I cannot calculate parabolas. This one solves the problem. Encountering low armor creatures, I can win from a distance. I have no bolts, so I craft. The pure wooden crossbow bolt makes 5 from 1 wood. The iron-tipped crossbow bolt makes 5 from 1 wood, and 2 iron ingots. Crossbow bolts, unlike arrows, do not need feathers for stabilization, easier to find materials. I craft 50 iron-tipped bolts, using 20 iron ingots. I have plenty of meat and cabbage to trade for more iron if needed. An average player cannot afford to keep a pet, let alone such a crossbow. I store the crossbow. The next prompts. The room ahead has a group of goblins. With the Tang Saber, Alloy Shield, and Buja, I can pass without serious injury, but rewards are nothing special. The left has a giant spider that sprays poison and silk and is alert at all hours. I die. The right is empty. I drink the northwest wind. The upper passage is a distance from the ground, but the rocket belt can lift me. Inside is a blacksmith surrounded by lantern monsters. Rescuing the blacksmith earns me his reward. This is the highest reward path with a bronze chest at the end. The lower is empty and full of poisonous miasma. I take Buja and fly toward the upper passage. A blacksmith calls for help as soon as the door opens, asking whether any kind-hearted adventurer can save him, lamenting that he is going to lose his life in the mouths of these terrible lantern monsters, and that he is too young, having only blacksmith for a few years. The room is sparse forest. Among the trees stand blood-red trunks, hanging fruits like human head lanterns. The prompt warns me that the human head fruits are the lantern monsters. Many fruits have ripened. The blacksmith holds an iron V-shaped great shield like a door panel, leaning against a giant rock. The lantern monsters jump and slam their bodies against the shield, the impacts ringing out. A lantern monster nearer to me lets out a shrill cry, eyes wide, lips stretched, leaping like a cannonball. I cannot help smiling and tell myself this fellow has come to deliver its head. I lift the Tang Saber, pierce it in midair, and sheathe. Smooth. Cool. The prompt fires telling me to raise my shield because the lantern monster will explode after death. I am stunned. I could not even be cool for 3 seconds, and crouch with the alloy shield up.